It's 3 a.m. in a one-stop town. Neon buzz and the world shut down. Coffee's cold, but the mic's still warm. There's a storm outside and another reform. Headlights roll down Highway 8. Folks still talking about the state of the state. Bills go up, paychecks thin. Feels like a house always wins. But there's a voice on the air tonight, cutting through that pale moonlight. Mike in the night, on the AM line. Truth coming through like a county sign. You can run, you can hide, you can close your eyes. Let you feel that moving deep inside. At 3 a.m. when the silence is broken, old guitar and the truth outspoken. No teleprompter, no token, just a man saying I have spoken. Small town farmers, city trees, trying to read through the masquerades. Paper headlines, polished lies, but you can see it in the people's eyes. Granddad said, son, stand tall, don't let fear build your walls. Mama prayed by the kitchen light, said keep your heart strong through the fight. So he turns that dial a little more, like knocking on a closed back door. Mike in the night, on the AM line. Truth coming through like a warning sign. You can feel it shift when the clock strikes 3. Like something's waking inside of me. At 3 a.m. when the static's spoken, old school fire that can't be broken. No script read, no words soft spoken, just a man saying I have spoken. Ain't about left, ain't about right. It's about sleeping good at night, about working hard and keeping faith, and calling out what just ain't straight when the world feels cold and tight. There's a voice in the dark saying it'll be alright. Mike is the night. Hear the tone, front porch truth over dial tone. 3 a.m. and the veil's wide open. Woo! Every word caught and open. From the back roads to the broken, on the quiet towns to the outspoken. Steel strings ringing, hearts are low when he tips his hat and says,
I have spoken.
I have spoken.
Today is Monday, the 20th of July, 2026. We are in the 30th week of 2026. We've passed the halfway mark. We're almost in 2027. Can you believe that? The days are moving like months. I mean, the years are moving like months. That's what it's feeling like. And I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you're watching this transmission. Whether you're watching us from your condo in the sky or a camper or cabin in the woods, people of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. It's 3 a.m. and something is moving you. Oh yeah, it's so moving you. We're going to be opening lines tonight on Mike in the Night. We got our boy Ben from South Africa that's going to update us on what's happening with the... It's going to update us on what's happening with the persecution of whites in South Africa. So we're going to get into that later today, and this through the show we're going to get it to him, and hopefully we can get Supreme Cannon on the show. Maybe No Way Jose wants to come on, and get you guys updated on what is happening. All right, guys, if you guys want to join the mailing list, MikeMartins1980 at gmail.com. That's MikeMartins1980 at gmail.com. So you don't miss an episode of Mike in the Night or an emergency episode of Mike in the Night or something about Mike in the Night. If there's an emergency or an early show, a late show, whatever, there it is right there. So if you guys want to go ahead and email me, and I'll add you to my list. And guys, don't forget, Mike in the Night, viewer discretion is advised, 21 and older. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Fact checked and do your own research. 18 U.S. Code, Section 2257 for Mike in the Night. All right, thank you. I just got a super chat for $6.99. Thank you, Rainy Steps. Hello, how are you? Good to see you again. Good to see you again. And here we are, guys. So that's that right there. All right. So let's get into a quick channel plug. Then we'll get into a little bit of monologue, and then we'll go into headlines, and then we'll go into a little bit of video, and then we'll start getting in our callers. All right, let's rock and roll here. Let's get into, guys, if you want to support the transmission, you can buy me a coffee here. You're more than welcome to pick me up a coffee if you'd like. Here it is right here. I'm going to give it here on the, there, boom, boom, boom. There it is. The show, we don't get paid to be here at all. So, we get like 80, 60 bucks a month from AdSense, but that's it. So if you guys want to support the transmission, go ahead and do that that way. And guys, channel update. We have added here, we added a Let's Turn This Empty Stinky Dump into a Fun Game Store playlist on YouTube, where we got this building and we converted it into a game store. Not the one I'm in, but the one across the street from me. So if you guys want to watch that one, that is a really, really good, playlist to check out. And guys, don't forget, also, I'm going to move the merit harassment series here on the main page so people could find it easily, because people keep asking for links for it. But it's under our playlists here if you want to watch the merit harassment series. And MikeInTheNight.org takes you to our playlist of Mike in the Night if you want to watch and binge watch old episodes and calling Fauci a piece of crap and all those people and like all these, for over the years, like we're talking over the last 10 years here of Mike in the Night. And also, guys, Facebook. What's on Facebook? Nothing really. Oh, we did get somebody posted something fake about us on here. I'll tell you in a second here. Instagram, take my Instagram, guys, because if you want to call into the show, you call in through Instagram. So I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to paste that right there. There's my Instagram. If you guys want to add me, just send me a message, and you can call in just like a phone on Instagram. And if you want to pick up something, no one really ever does, but there's stuff here, a mug or a t-shirt or whatever. It's up to you. We are still down on TikTok, folks. I'm sorry. We're not going back on TikTok. We've already got 4 pages deleted, and we're not going back. And we opened an account on X, so we're on X now if you guys want to check us out. Mike Martins on X there. So it's _Mike_Martins. And now I want to talk about something really important that's affecting me, my business, and my family. So on Facebook, on a public forum here on the Merritt's Grapevine open forum for the city of Merritt, where I live in, the village or town, it's small, of Merritt, where I live in, somebody posted here on a page that do not send your kids alone to this loser, ranting about the Catholic Church and probably a pedophile creep. So what happened after this happened, right? And what happened after this was a lot of people jumped in there and started calling me a pedophile and telling me that they bring their kids to my store, and this is damaging my business. It's damaging everything I've worked for, and I had to sit my kids down today. And explain to them what a pedophile, what a rapist, because it started when I opened my store. I was called the Merritt Molester. If you guys remember in the Merit Harassment series playlist, you could watch everything. And then it changed to the Merit Rapist. And then now it's the pedophile. So they're constantly attacking me. And people that don't know the situation automatically believe this because it's on social media and they're posting a picture of me in my store. And it's really, and a lot of people are posting 100% and stuff. And I did nothing to none of these people here. this deep hatred for opening a business. You're probably thinking, oh, Mike, you're on social media. They don't care about that. It's about opening a business in Merritt, and I've been persecuted heavily for doing it. So watch the Merritt harassment series. Looks like this, Merritt harassment series. You could go through it, and you could see all the personas and all the fake accounts that attack me and my family. And here's a clip of it. All these fake accounts, Diane Bronson. You watch it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And the phone calls, on hundreds of phone calls.
So, putting someone's information online is not illegal. Just for the information. So, I don't have to do anything.
So this is after he doxed me. The guy in town doxed me.
Your part, your address is up. Everyone's going to know where you live. And you're fucked, Mike. You fat fucking cocksucker. You fucking dirty little scam. You little fat fucking little cocksucking.
So this is what I've been dealing with for years. And the Merritt Stalker, this is a very newest episode I put up. He was using WorkBC employees. So, you know, WorkBC is a place where they find placement for workers in town. 2 workers, 2 different placements, 2 different years, came to me and told me that when they had to work for this guy that's harassing me and my family, when they went to work for this guy, they made these employees call GST on me, write letters to immigration about my wife, all this stuff, like multiple things about me and my family. So we've been under attack so hard that you guys have no idea. And you guys are not me. So you don't know how it is to be in a small town with a small population of people and everyone looking at me like I'm some dirty piece of garbage. You guys have no idea how that feels when you're out and about and you're with your kids and doing things with your children. You're out and about and everyone looks at you like you're some piece of garbage. You guys don't know how that feels until it happens to you. And they keep attacking me and attacking me and They know who they are. Their names are on their Facebook profiles. But there's nothing. What can I do? The same thing happened to a friend of mine. They did the same thing, and they accused him of other stuff, and he's like, "That's not true." And then they asked the guy that owns the page, a Chinese guy. They asked him, the Merritt. I think it was the Merritt, not the Merritt Wire, Merritt Grapevine. And they asked him, "Hey, can you take down this post? It's not. No, I'm leaving it up. You have to go on there and defend yourself." What are you talking about? It's not true. So this is what's happening. And this is the people that don't have anything have the power, basically. The people that have nothing to lose have the power now. Right? All right, we got allegations without proof of anything. Cowards, don't worry, Mike Martins. We are not buying that crap. It's all garbage. Thank you, said. So... Hugs, my brother, Mike Martins. Excellent work. Thank you. So we got everyone jumping on here. Thanks, Shano Vision, for following me on X. I noticed you found me. I just opened an X account and I'm starting to use it. Anoint your business. I already did. I already got it blessed. Twice. Believe me, I'm Catholic. I know. I've tried everything. I have tried everything. For these people just to leave me alone. They don't shop at my store, fine. I don't care. All my business is passing through. So, all right, here we are, folks. Let's get into some headlines for you guys tonight on Mike in the Night. What are these governments trying to sell you? All right, so I got an email from someone on the ground in Japan, and it's really kind of important. So you guys pay close attention to this email. So let me open my email, guys. So I won't be seeing the chat for a few seconds here. Let me go to, thanks Tig for the coffee. Let me go real quick here. Hold on. Inbox Tokyo. Here it is. Inbox Tokyo. Okay, guys, this is important. Pay very close attention. So I found the link of what he's talking about. And I feel that this is kind of important to read to you guys. It's one of our Mike and the Nighters in Tokyo, Japan. And thousands protest growing militarism in Tokyo. So organizers say 25,000 people took part in the latest rally against Japan revising its constitution and abandoning pacifism. So this is what's happening right now. Japan is rearming. And let's see if this opens here. There it is right there. I'm going to leave this playing in the background while I'm actually reading the email to you guys, okay? So it says, "Hey, Mike, long time brother. I've been watching Mike in the Night for years. Never think I write..."
憲法を変えて、
Oh, let me lower this here. Hold on.
戦争ができる。
Audio there. Okay. Never think I would write you from the middle of something like this. Today I go to Tokyo. Around Parliament, so many people everywhere, old people, young people, families, students, workers, everybody holding signs, some people shouting, some people just standing quiet. You could feel something heavy in the air. Police everywhere, big lines, vans, barricades, but protests stay mostly peaceful. People clap, chant, bow, whistle, everybody saying the same thing. Protect Article 9, no more war. Takachi resign. Many people here say they do not want Japan to become a military country again. My grandfather always tell me, bring only pain. Many people here grew up believing Japan should never go back that road. Governments say more military because China and North Korea security is dangerous. Protesters say government using fear to change constitution little by little, and they worry once the rules change, maybe no going back. People talk about money too. They ask, why billions for missiles? Why billions for military? Why billions for hospitals? Why no schools? Why no hospitals? Why not help the people? Why not lower the cost of living? Everybody talking about food prices going up, rent going up, everyday life harder. Many people tell me government should fix home first. I hear many different opinions today. And one thing same. People feel they are not being heard. And this is from much respect from Japan. Stay safe, brother. So I wanted to read you that email I got there in my inbox earlier this morning, and it's about this: thousands protests growing militarism in Tokyo. So yes, there is a huge threat from China. China is the biggest threat in that area, followed by North Korea, and then I would probably say Pakistan will be next, right? So in the order of that, right? And okay, so that's that right there. Let's go over some headlines, then we'll open lines for you guys here on A Mic in the Night. And it looks like, I think Kevin just messaged me. He wants to come on the show, but I don't see him here on my Instagram, so I don't see him here. I don't even see him here. I have to see if he needs to come on the show. I don't. Let me see if he comes up here. I don't have no Kevin on my, I don't know, unless his Instagram got deleted. I don't see him here. Okay, let's move on with headlines here. And, all right. So let's head over to Canada. Yeah. You say something there, they post crap about you online. That's not true. When you come out and tell the truth in this country, you get trashed. Oh, yeah. All right, so what's going on? Canadian real estate is building a nation of renters. And we warned you about this, that Canada will become a nation of renters. And Canada will become a rental society. Because the Chinese laundered $2.4 to $2.6 trillion through our real estate since 2010 to March 2024. Yes. You go to Nova Scotia, you go to PEI, you go to Newfoundland, New Brunswick, all across Canada. The Chinese have bid up properties through the roof and creating artificial shortages and bidding wars. And we're going to see vacant homes. Oh, vacant homes are going to be a pandemic or they're going to start talking about vacant homes soon. It's going to be a big vacant homes. We got about 3.9 million vacant homes, 4 million vacant homes in Canada, and it's driving up the pricing. And then, but China brings money. What are you talking about, Mike? They bring money. Now you can't afford to eat. Now you can't eat anymore because 90% of what you make goes to funding your basic shelter. There's people that live in Hollywood Hills that pay less to live in Hollywood Hills than what someone would pay in a major Canadian city. Oh yeah, think of it, Americans. Think of that, you know. So let's roll over here real quick. Let's go over. So that's what's happening right there. And it's a nation of renters. And we warned you guys about this for a long time. And Trump tells Carney to take action on wildfire smoke during World Cup chat. Whoa, hallelujah. It's about time. Someone's watching my videos. 2024, I made a video with the big smoke in Merritt where the smoke was so thick. And I said, America, wake up. Canada's your threat, not Iraq. Wake up, Canada. Canada's your biggest threat. You have no idea what the wildfires. I said that in 2024. I said, let's go. Wake up. They're all arsonists in Canada. Burning, hey, you don't want to believe in climate change, global warming, or whatever we call it this week? Yeah, on fire. Yeah. And Ford fires back at Trump over tariffs threats during wildfires. Remember this fat-faced Ford? Remember Mr. Mobility here during the COVID? Remember Mr. Mobility, this fat face? Remember him? We're going to bring in 100,000 Portuguese to build the infrastructure. Get the fuck out of here, 100,000 Portuguese. You deported all the Portuguese in 2006, 7, and 8, and they're going to come back and build your country? Get out of here. Fat-faced Ford. And Canada's first diamond mine set to shut down. Hold on. Stop the press. China's going to buy that one too. They own 3 of our biggest gold mines, 2 biggest lithium-ion mines, biggest coal mine in BC. China owns everything. China is now, watch. China will buy this diamond mine. Yep. 300 kilometers northwest of Yellowknife. China, it will buy this. China will buy everything and everything they can within the Canadian territory. Oh, yes. Okay, let's see who we got here. Yeah, no, Kevin's saying I don't have him here. He's not messaging me on Instagram, so there's nothing I could do. Kevin, you got to message me on Instagram, dude. Message me on Instagram, because I have to go through the show and through the lines here. Yes. Message me on CRA is doing and what's going on in real estate. Yeah, okay, so go ahead and message me on Instagram, and I'll get you on the show, buddy. I promise. Just message me. Just message me. Okay. Okay, so we got he just messaged me. Okay, there he goes. It's come through. All right, let's get Kevin J. Johnston on the show. He needs to come on and tell us something here that's happening in Canada. So let's get him on the show. Pick up, man. Pick up. Hello.
Mike.
Yo, how you doing, brother?
Things are fantastic, man. Things are fantastic. Can you see me okay?
I'm going to open you up right now. Just give me a second, please.
You got it, man.
All right, here it is. Kevin J. Johnston, ladies and gentlemen, on Mike in the Night.
Mike, a pleasure as always. You're looking good these days, brother. I just wanted to say that I've been watching everything you're doing. You're a tough man to reach. Are you popular now or what? What's going on?
What do you? Everyone's telling me they can't get a hold of me. My phone's right. Like I check my messages. Nobody really calls me ever.
Well, it's a shame, Mike. It's a shame. Well, so if your audience is not aware, during that COVID nonsense, the government locked me up, for 7 months of my life in solitary confinement. They tried to break my spirit, Mike. It didn't work, but I decided I had enough of Canada's crap, and I left the country permanently 2.5 years ago. Michael, you'll be very happy to know that here in Panama City, where I live, I have built a $7.8 million tax business here.
Woo!
Bro, it does not take long to succeed when you're in a Christian nationalistic society.
Catholic, it's Catholic.
It's Catholic, man.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a Catholic country. There's Catholic churches absolutely everywhere. Nonetheless, it's a country that has a complete and total standing where they are Panamanian first. It is wonderful to be in a nationalistic society, man. I love it. The cops here are great. I buy them tea and crumpets and sandwiches all the time. And the banks here, they absolutely love dealing with white skin, Mike.
Yeah.
So white privilege exists, folks, but it's in Latin America and South America. However, don't be a shyster. Otherwise, you'll find yourself booted out of every business deal. But Mike, I'll tell you this: the tax business I built, it started very slow, and then within 6 weeks it exploded because I did not realize just how many Canadians were completely screwed, and I mean screwed.
Yeah.
So we expanded the business over the course of the last 2.5 years. I had to take my company and break it up into 11 separate corporations with 11 different ownership structures. Now, here is what I do on a basic level. I'm not selling my services here. I'm just letting you know that we're doing personal tax and corporate tax, restructuring corporations. And if people have too much corporate debt, I'm actually just buying the company from them and taking the entire debt away. So the CRA has to chase me for the debt, which they've put a memo out now stating that they're not allowed to talk to me. Because I'm going to admit, man, I harass them all the time. I cannot stand the Canada Revenue Agency. We send process service to their homes all the time. If an auditor gets too lippy with me, we track them down. We put liens on their property and sue them. Sometimes we file criminal charges. You all have the right to do these things. Also, Mike, I've been trying to crack the code for 25 years. How is it that somebody could take out a TFSA or an RRSP completely tax-free? On this past Thursday, I cracked the code. So I can now take your RSPs and get you back 100%, absolutely zero tax. CRA, they're not going to be happy with this one. They might even try to change the laws on it, but that's all right. So that's what I'm doing down here for Canadians. I'm also prospecting land, and I buy condos, and I'm buying a water park down here, man. This country is nothing but opportunity. The notion that places like Argentina, Uruguay, and Panama are third world countries, they're actually quite silly notions. Panama City is kind of like Toronto of the 80s, where there's a lot of parties, a lot of fun, great restaurants.
Yeah.
The subway system here is better than Toronto's subway system. It's 35 cents to ride. In most cases, I just go and grab a $6 lunch at some of the great restaurants in town. Completely affordable to be here.
Yeah.
Canadians are wasting their time being in Canada. But here is what I really want to talk about. And this is me dealing with over 3,000 clients now between myself and my team. The CRA, they are breaking every single solitary law imaginable. I actually had to do a 22-part video series on my TikTok channel explaining every crime they commit every single day. I've shown people, I've actually given them instructions on how to file charges, and no one's taken me up on it. Everyone says that they don't want backlash. Well, for those who are listening, let me get a little bit callous in my speech here, Mike. The CRA is loaded with what I call third world trash. Very unintelligent people with exceptionally low intelligence scores in everything, not just language, but in complete and total understanding of the taxation system itself. They're breaking every law imaginable. They're not going to backlash you. They're actually going to give up. I have been so rude and so callous and so, we'll call it racist, if you will, to these people that there is a policy that they're not allowed to talk to me. And you can all do the same thing, everybody. Now, here's the stuff they're doing. Number one, if somebody had a corporation in Canada, let's say you close it down 10, 15, 20 years ago, and you had goods and services tax debt on it, or payroll debt, or the harmonized sales tax debt on it. They are looking at it. They're saying, oh, who's the director? They're finding out the social insurance number of the director, and they're sending a whopping bill to people who owned companies they shut down and forgot about. I had a client come to me. They had a $4,000 tab in payroll that they just forgot about. They closed the company and started living life. 12 years later, the CRA hits them with $300,000 in fees and penalties on that corporation. Completely illegal, way outside of the 2-year statute of limitations they have. Now, that's just one thing. The next thing that they're doing is they're actually making a lot of phone calls, because when you speak to the CRA, they have an index on how strong or weak you are, and they're hitting absolutely everybody who's weak with statements like, pay us the tax we say you owe, or we're taking your children from you. I've got recordings of this where they're threatening to take your children away if you don't pay tax. Frightening situation there. They have decided also, and I hate this one, but they have been going to the federal court, and it's just a civil court, but they're taking 10,000 companies that owe something in the past. These companies are all either closed down or in stasis or some kind of trouble. And they go to a judge who's not even really a judge, and they say, we want to get an endorsement from you on this booklet. So the judge, he looks at it and thinks, oh, I'm only signing one book here. He gives it a stamp, and now the endorsement is good for all 10,000 companies listed in this book. They're getting 10,000 quasi-court orders just by showing up with these booklets. And then they're going out and they're chasing everybody for it. One of the biggest issues that we have is that they go to this federal court, but they're doing it with what's called ex parte, which means they're not telling you that they're going to court to harm you, to screw you over. You have no idea. So you don't show up. They get the judgment that they're looking for because you're not there to defend yourself. Completely illegal again, because in order for them to state that you owe tax dollars and we're going to punish you for it, they at least have to have a motion where both parties get to say their piece. They're not doing this. So now we have seen tens of thousands of liens being put on properties right across the country.
Right.
And that's when everybody is, they go into panic mode. So I'm begging Canadians out there, there's other tricks they're pulling. If you have a house, we got to move it into a numbered corporation, Mike. You got to protect it. Put it in a numbered corporation where you're the shareholder, but you're not the director. Why? Because the director is the individual that the CRA chases for any debt. And if you have property, they're going to chase your property. You'd be amazed at how many corporations I own, which is over 500, that have Bugs Bunny or Peter Parker or Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent or otherwise as the director. The CRA can't touch anything, and I mean absolutely anything I've got. We can do the same thing for everybody else, Mike. You cannot anymore have money in the bank unless you put money into a holding company's bank account. If you have money in your personal account, they're just going to take it. Even if you don't owe tax, they're starting just to grab it now. Now, here's how it works with the banks. And this is where a lot of Canadians can really protect themselves. We have to go to war with the banks. Mm-hmm. The CRA, if they want your money, they do not get a court order for the bank to give them your money. They send what is called a requirement to pay letter to the bank. The requirement to pay letter is not lawful. It's just a request. The word requirement means request in law. So they tell the banks, we want you to give us $500,000 of John Smith's money just because. There's no evidence of a tax debt and there's no court order. But the banks just say, okay, and they give your money away. That's a very serious crime. First off, it's theft. And secondly, it's breach of trust. Now, breach of trust, Mike, is when you are in a position to hold someone's money, gold, silver, crypto, a commodity, or a security of some kind, mm-hmm. and you steal it. You're done. You're going away for 14 years. Nobody's charging the bank. The banks are well aware of the fact that they could tell the CRA no, because the Department of Justice, who represents the CRA, it's all DEI hires. It's nothing but little girls, 22, 23-year-old girls. I've made 2 of them cry. I'm very proud of that. And there's these massive women. They're this wide. And they show up. I start cracking fat jokes and black jokes and yellow jokes and red jokes, and they just give up. In fact, can I say the N-word on this show? They said, I don't want to deal with this man because he said the N-word. And the judge looks at me in the video camera and says, did you say the N-word in the private conference? I said, well, as a matter of fact, I did, Your Honor. I said the word nigger 15 times. What's going to come of this? And they just decided they didn't want to pursue the case because I'm too rude, I'm too toxic, and I'm too, what's the other word? Too hostile. So if you become hostile with these DEI hires at the Department of Justice, they just walk out the door and they drop the file. If you want to get rid of an auditor, call them every name under the sun, scream at them, yell at them, do whatever it takes. They will eventually quit because they've got a book. The CRA, you may not know this, everybody, they have a book called The Auditor's Handbook. Chapter 10 is the one you absolutely have to read, folks. It is 150 pages, and the first 125 are how to lie. Yeah, all kinds of lessons on how to lie and how to intimidate people. But the last 25 pages in that chapter also say that the following things are considered hostile. And if someone becomes hostile, the auditor or the chief or whatever they call themselves must end the audit and hand the file over to a team leader. Team leader tend to be these 45-year-old white virgin males still living with mommy, and they cry more than the auditors do. So these people are not strong, everybody. They're wimps, they're cowards, they're absolute losers. Mm-hmm. But so many Canadians out there believe that they're police. They're not. Believe these people can get warrants. They cannot. Believe that they have to answer questions. You don't. You have the right to remain silent. Don't talk to these people. So, Mike, we have, as of last year, we took $400 billion away from the CRA. And so far, I've taken $700 million away from them this year. And the year's not over yet. Whoa. Very proud of it. Very proud of that. I'm putting a lot of money back in people's pockets. And we are making a lot of people at the CRA very upset, but not from the standpoint of they're going to do anything to hurt me or my clients. Just from the standpoint of, I don't like that Kevin guy. He's racist and he's rude and he says mean things and he told me all about my mom. And yeah, that's how they behave. So I would like everybody who's watching this right now to understand the CRA is merely a collection agency. The Income Tax Act that they follow are not laws. It's a series of rules for the CRA to behave themselves like Neanderthals and criminals. You don't have to comply with anything in the Income Tax Act. It's not enforceable. The CRA works entirely within civil law. And if they want you to comply with something, they would have to sue you. Mike, they have not been the plaintiff in a lawsuit for 11 years. They don't sue people. Why? They lose all the time because they're relying on the act and not the actual laws of the land. Mm-hmm. They are incapable of winning if you go on the all-out attack. So, Mike, how do you and I get people to realize these people are cowards, they're wimps, they're morons?
Well, you just did.
Let's go on the attack. But
you just told everybody what it is. I'm going to put this video on 7 platforms.
Huh? Yeah, motivate. How do we motivate them?
Well, right now, in the position I'm in right now, I pay my GST every month. I pay my PST every month. I don't make big money, Kevin. So it's not a lot of money. I pay like $80 here, $90 there, $140. I don't even have a payroll because I don't even pay myself. So for me, I'm okay when it comes to my taxes. I'm okay when it comes to, if I made big money, then okay, well, I don't want to pay, but I don't make a lot of money. So I make enough to just get by and enjoy my life, right? And then I don't have anyone sniffing and examining my books and looking around and trying to find because there's nothing to find. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of ahead of the curve when it comes to that and just keeping it low-key, live in a 2-stoplight town where everybody hates you, and just keep it nice and low-key and quiet, and just that's it. You know what I mean? Like, no fancy cars, no fancy nothing, just an old car I drive, and my wife has a minivan, and that's it, Kevin. You know what I mean? But there are a lot of Canadians out there that do well, that do make big bucks, and Uncle Sam is looking to take their dollar, and Uncle Sam ain't their uncle. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I hear you on that, and I'll tell you, Mike, is Canada, you can still get wealthy in Canada. You have to have a lot of good luck. You have to become an absolute monster or tyrant like I have become in the last 2.5 years, in business only, of course. You got to become a tyrant like Trump, but that's not enough. If you stop paying every single tax, even your PST and GST, Mike, you can actually make money. So whenever clients come to me and I pull them completely out of the tax system, not with that free man on the land crap, because that stuff gets you in trouble. I'm talking just by following the Income Tax Act and the GST Act and the Excise Tax Act.
Right.
I'm following their own rules. We're winning in that arena. I'm never going to quote the free man stuff, the sovereign citizen stuff, because it is something that could work only if you play it 100% perfectly. At the same time, I've also seen judges lose their minds in court when people use the sovereign citizen argument and they instruct the thugs. You know, sometimes it's cops, sometimes it's just thugs. to literally beat the shit out of this person, assault him, get him out of here, don't let him back in the courtroom or the courthouse for 24 hours. And I've seen these guys just work the free men people over. If you think you live in a civilized country, Canada, you are sorely mistaken. Canada is one of the most evil countries that honestly I've been to out of the 12 that I've been to in the last 2.5 years.
All right, let's
It
do
is
some Canadian.
horrendous.
All right, let's go for years now. Let's see if you got this. In what year did Canada close immigration for Europe, made it harder for immigrants from Europe to come into Canada? What year?
Oh, Mike, did you and I not do a 2.5-hour show about this? It was 1994.
93.
That, you and I had talked about. 93. I'm
It
sorry.
was
You're right.
1993 where Canada made it hard for Europeans to come into Canada because Canada was already built to a point where they didn't need the Italians, the Portuguese, the Greeks, the Irish, the people that built the country anymore. And then in 1993 is when they opened the doors to China, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Sudan. They just opened to basically let the third world in after the infrastructure was put in. And then the people that came originally, like my dad, to have a family and build the country, and hopefully my son could work at this big tower, this bank tower my dad was working on. My dad worked on the Sky Dome project. My dad worked on tons of projects. Hopefully my son could get a job here. No! Bring in 2,000-3,000 people from China. Put them in the bank and leave the Canadian people outside begging for money. And the people inside the bank don't even speak English. Woo!
There's nothing worse than that. You go to the bank. Oh, I help you somehow. Okay, you want money? Okay, over there. You over there. I can't stand that. I remember, and you probably were in the same boat. If we did not use grammar properly at the dinner table, we got a cuff in the head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I
but Kevin, you're not. It doesn't make any sense. Let's build the bank, but then we're not going to have our kids working at the bank that are educated in Canada and speak. We're just going to bring in people from China to work at the bank in there. And then outside, the Canadian people could beg for money. This is the most fucked up, retarded, backwards fucking bullshit I've ever seen in my whole life. Build the bank for Canadians to work for Canadians. I'm getting, you know what I get the most of, Kevin? You wouldn't believe this. I get so many messages and emails from people and direct messages and all kinds of bullshit from all over, all the platforms. My son can't get a job because he's white. No one's hiring white people. My son's a red seal. This, that, over and over. I get 30 to 45 messages, maybe 100 a week, Kevin, on people messaging me from Saskatchewan, from Manitoba, from from everywhere. They're not hiring white people, Mike. And then I'm like, yeah, you built the buildings because it wasn't Pakistan that built Canada or China. And then now you can't work at the buildings now. That's how it's going to get worse here, Canada. Kevin, it's going to get a lot worse here before it gets any better.
I know. And I got to be careful what I say about the solution because I know, look, the RCMP watches everything I say. I've seen my CSIS file. It's about that thick. I brought it to Panama with me because I will be presenting to the president in actually in a month and a half. I get a chance to present everything to the leadership of the country to show how bad Canada is. Now, what I thought was hilarious about my CSIS file is at the time when they had started putting together a file on me due to the RCMP, Kevin saying mean things. That's all that it was. All they did was they went through the 5,000 videos I had up on the internet at the time, which was 2021, and they were looking for things like sedition or traitor callings, inciting a crime, uttering threats. They were looking for anything. And it even said in the RCMP and the CSIS report that he's good with words. He has done nothing wrong. He's no threat. But they still watch. You know, my lawyer calls me all the time. I keep a lawyer on retainer. And he calls me all the time saying, I just read your newest report from CSIS. Would you like to see it? And I said, please get that shipped on down to me. So I've got an inch worth of crap to go through that arrived 2 weeks ago. I haven't even looked at it yet. I'm sure it's funny. But that is how ridiculous the country has become, everybody. If you're a conservative, you're smart like Mike, and you're speaking out, they're going to monitor everything that you're saying and doing. Mike, I don't want to say you have a CSIS file or the RCMP are watching, but they're watching. You know they are. They're waiting for anybody now to screw up, especially with this Bill C9 that passed a couple days ago. They're going to lock everybody up that they possibly can. And I know this because prior to Bill C9 coming in, they locked me up for hate speech and for telling the truth about that pandemic nonsense. Now, I can't say select words because YouTube will.
Well, no,
censor
Kevin,
you.
I lived in Canada at a different time. See, I lived in Canada at a different time, different place, different perspective in Canada. You see, when I look at someone and say, why is this guy in this country for? Why is he here for? It's because the same thing was told to me and my family. When I was a kid living in Toronto, people would look at us and say, why are these Portuguese people in our country? Why are you here for? What are you doing in our country? When are you going back to Portugal? You know how many jobs I got fired from because employers found out I was Portuguese and they fired me? I had 9 jobs that I got fired from because they found out I was Portuguese. So I'm Portuguese. So it's a little bit different because I was treated like the lowest of the lowest garbage on earth and treated like absolute garbage. I was called the Portuguese and the N-word at HSBC Finance when I worked at HSBC Finance at Mississauga 1. They called me the Portuguese N-word and the N-word. And they fired me. So I'm in a position where I have the right. I have earned the right to ask if I see somebody and ask them, what is this guy doing in this country? Because I have every right to do that because that was asked about me. And I feel sorry. I still remember when my dad was alive. He'd say, oh, I work on the Sky Dome project. I work on this RBC Tower. I work on this. And my dad's trying to explain to them why he's in Canada. I'm like, Dad, leave these fucking people alone. Let's go. You know what I mean?
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Now, I just want to address a couple of questions that I see here. Someone's asking me what I think of the Auditor General of Canada. I think she is an absolutely worthless individual, another overweight white liberal woman who hates men, hates the country, hates Christians, hates everything. Completely incompetent. She doesn't deserve to be there. She never ran a business. This is not someone that knows how to make money. This is someone that just knows how to talk. Well, to read the script given to her by the Liberal Party. Someone's asking me if I speak Spanish well, that I've been here for 2.5 years. No, guys. I spent all my time on tax law. I spent all my time on the phone with English-speaking Canadians and Americans getting taxes done and getting RSPs and whatnot done up and getting HST files fixed. I got a full-time translator. The gentleman's job is to come in and translate everything for me. I pay him $2,000
if I ever get exiled from Canada or kicked out, I could come down and be your translator. I speak perfect Spanish. Perfect. Everyone will look at me. Everyone would look at me when I'm with you and I'm translating whatever you want me to translate. They'll look at me and they'll look at you and they're like, is this guy Mexican? Because I learned Spanish because I lived in Mexico for 2 years. So they'll look at you and look at him, why do you got a Mexican guy with you? It'll be because my accent, the way I speak, right? So they'll be like, they call me El Norteño, the northern guy, because the way I speak Spanish sounds like northern Mexican. So they'll look at you and say, are you with some cartel? Why is this guy with the shaved head and cowboy boots standing next to you talking Spanish? Who is this guy? So they'll, anyways, but yeah, I'm a good translator.
Speaking of Mexico, everybody in Costa Rica and everybody in Panama loves Speedy Gonzalez. So all those liberal retards that said, oh, it's offensive to Mexicans. When you say, andale, yipa, everyone starts saying it. Speedy Gonzalez. They love it. Now, a couple more questions here, and I guess I'll get out of your hair there, Mike. Kevin, how do you get your RRSPs out? I'm going to be announcing the program officially on my show tomorrow. It's every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's called The Tax and Money Show, which is thetaxandmoneyshow.com, where you can jump in the chat and ask a whole bunch of questions. I'm going to tell you how the whole thing works. Here's the cool part, though. You will get 100% of your RRSP money, 100%. Plus 5 points, plus 5% on the investments. That's what I do. I've got a securities company down here, Mike, in Panama. It's very easy to get that to happen. I've also got someone asking me what dating tips do I have for 2026. Don't bother. That's my advice. Woo! For what purpose?
Kevin, can I get a woo? I get a
man.
Woo?
Stay single. Woo! That's what you got to do. Stay single, guys. But if the men out there are looking for ladies they would be more compatible with, if you're looking for traditional women, they're here. Mike, there's a lot of traditional, lovely ladies here who are looking for a husband to spoil. They do believe that they need to be in that position of support their man. It's remarkable. When I think back to the cynicism and the sarcasm of the feminist movement in Canada, it's tough to listen to that nonsense, and I would never listen to it again.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's destroyed. It's destroyed The whole middle-aged women are freezing eggs, and now they can't find a one because men don't approach women anymore, bro. Men are done.
Oh, if I was in Canada, I wouldn't even talk to them. I just wouldn't do it. Why? Well, we know why. And the only advice that I could really give to young men here is don't bother chasing chicks. All right. In the 80s, and I was telling my son about this, I had a good laugh about it, saying, you know, I could have been extremely wealthy in my teen years and in my 20s. However, we grew up in an incredibly good time, a very decadent time. There was money on every street corner in Canada. So I wasted a lot of my teen years chasing tail. Yeah, chasing and spending money on chicks, dinners. And I remember driving like 2.5 hours just to get a friggin' hand job when I'm 18, 19 years old. How stupid was that? So I told my son, don't be like that. Don't do what I did when it comes to chicks. You go to the gym, go to the gun club, learn how to shoot. You know, the fighting classes I've got him in, just keep going. Make sure you know how to fight. I've given him all the books to read. I show him everything that I know about the taxation system. That's when I said, man, just make money and they'll come flocking to you. It's the truth. Absolute truth. All right. Kevin, can you please?
Yeah.
Somebody wants to know how to buy a condo with a credit card. Oh, you call me and I'll go to one of the 5 buildings down here that I have great contacts with. You'd be in a video chat with me and the owner of the building and the lawyer that hopefully you would select, because you want to have a lawyer for a property purchase. And then you would just give the credit card number to the owner of the building and he would go or just type it in. Congratulations, you bought a condo on a credit card. Yeah, you can do that. That's, guys, I'm telling you. Well, I've got I have one of those cryptocurrency credit cards where you get extra Ethereum when you tap it and spend. So I bought a $300,000 condo facing the Panama Canal on my credit card. Got a whole whack of crypto on that. Nice. There we are. Nice. Yeah, it's great. And Mike, I'm not here to brag. I'm here to tell all of you out there that when you're not putting up with the left-wing politics, when you're away from the gloomy weather, when you're away from the gloomy people, when you are away from these radical communist maniacs who run every single branch of the Canadian government, the lies from the CBC, the lies from CTV, the nonsense of your family members reading those garbage news outlets and trying to tell you that you're wrong and they're right because I saw it on the news. When you're away from all that crap, you can concentrate on what's really important. Mm-hmm. I would not, Mike, if I was still in Canada, I would never have had this kind of success. In fact, I think you know that the Canadian government deliberately kept me broke. I even had a court order on me in 2023 where I was not allowed to have a job. They didn't want me making money and becoming an influence again. Think about that.
Wait, you made money influencing? I didn't make fuck all. I make fucking $800 a year on social media. I make $800 a year being here.
Mike, you forgot the trick though. The trick was every 10 minutes we were asking for money. I had this big donate banner that came out. Donate. Well, people
now. Buy me a coffee if they
want. $20, $100, whatever you think this show is worth. We don't get a dime from the Canadian government. This show only lives if you support it. Donate now at freedomreport.ca. Remember those?
Yes.
That's how we did it.
Well, I don't want to do that every 10 minutes. I just tell people to buy me a coffee if they want, right? And that's it. Okay. You know, I just want to humble and...
Hey, everyone, buy this guy a coffee. Mike is a freaking genius. This guy is delivering news to all of you 10 years before the major outlets are. Mike, you sent me some links. You were right. Joe Rogan is and Dan Bongino, both of them are talking about stuff you were talking about 5, 6, 7 years ago. So you have been on the ball on all of it. Everyone, this guy is worth it. Forget subscriptions. Forget the beer. You know what? Sacrifice a case of beer. Hand the money over to Mike. Just give it to Mike, please. It's a much better use of everyone's time.
Did you get my email I sent you of all my followers with links? You asked me to do an audit on all my followers.
Oh yes, we did get that. And that
710,000 followers.
Oh, that's remarkable.
All the links are there. You go to every one and count the numbers yourself. I had to count it twice. I didn't think I had that much following. I didn't think nobody cared about me. But then when I went over every link and I clicked it and I added it, I'm like, wait, that's like 710,000 people. But I lost my TikTok the other day.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I did, and I was really upset about that because that's the feed that I was using.
So I lost my TikTok. So, anyways, yeah, just
All
thought
right.
I'd let you know.
Well, so I'm putting my money where my mouth is there, Mike. I'm asking everyone to buy you a coffee. So you see I'm holding my Visa card in my hand. And here we go. Boom. Another super chat. What the hell? I'm in a good mood there, Mike. There's $200 for you. Please buy your wife. Take
Thanks,
your kids
Kevin.
out. Now, listen, brother, thank you for what you do. Really, take your kids out. Take the family out. Go and have a good meal. Could everybody else give Mike just $10 tonight? Everyone, throw a little bit of cash at Mike. This guy is the best of the best. And for those of you who don't talk to Mike on the phone, Mike and I used to talk on the phone at least once or twice a week. The conversations were absolutely the best going because of this man's intelligence quotient. It's difficult when you're smart to find people to talk to. That's not an insult to people. It's just that there's a different way that I would like to communicate. And Mike, you match that. So thank you so very much. Definitely appreciate everything you do. So could I ask everyone, please be vigilant. When it comes to the CRA, don't answer their questions. Demand that they do everything with you in writing. Don't, under any circumstances, give them money until you've had an opportunity maybe to either speak to me or to watch my show so I can guide you on how to answer them properly in writing only. You cannot let these people get a one-up on you. They ask a lot of questions and people think that they're obligated to answer. You're absolutely not. And if you feel like it, you could find out who the auditors are, get their phone numbers and whatnot, and make phone calls to the auditors and speak in, I think, a Chinese accent, scream at them, yell at them. And here's what I'm doing, everybody. If you do call the CRA and you get a great emotional reaction out of the CRA member, I'm giving away prize money for it. So call them. Give them a really difficult time. Record that stuff. For those who are interested, I had an auditor contact me, and the auditor wanted me to endure an audit with this guy. I had bought a corporation off a company where they had over $440,000 in debt. So I thought, all right, I'm going to buy this company. This guy calls. He wants to run the audit. Doesn't speak English properly. He asked me what my company does now that I bought it. I said, well, we make sex toys. You put stuff on your crotch and you hook it up to the internet, and you can get people all over the world tickling your crotch. I was a bit more crass about it. And this guy says, okay. Now, during the conversation, he's not understanding what I'm saying, but he stays on the phone with me for 19 minutes. And for 19 minutes, I keep telling this guy, come on down. Let's run the audit. I'll show you my books. I got a cream for your herpes. Yeah, right. So that was up. People are laughing their heads off because he says, okay, every time I say I have herpes and I have a cream for it. And what had happened there is I did get a letter from the CRA saying that they did not appreciate me mocking this individual and that they're demanding I take it down. I sent them a letter saying, lick this and suck that, and I'm not going to do it. Then when I called this guy to get the audit to actually happen, because I wanted to see if he would actually come out for the audit, and he yells at me, Kevin, you humiliate me. I do not like you. The audit is over. Don't call me. And he hangs up. And the next day, he actually changed his phone number.
Woo!
Yeah, man. And for those who want to listen to me telling this guy for 19 minutes that he has herpes, there's the link in the chat. Just copy and paste it, and you're good to go. You can do this, people. Now, I cannot be the only man in the country who gives the CRA a difficult time. We need an army of 1 million of you calling these people 24 hours a day. Fill their voicemails up. Call them. Because if we have 1,000, 1 million, 10 million people crank calling them all day, they are not making phone calls to the public trying to steal the public's money.
Mm-hmm.
Attack, people. Attack.
Okay.
So, Mike.
Yeah.
Good seeing you, pal. Thanks
God bless
for
you,
having
brother.
me.
Thanks for coming on here on Mike of the Night. I appreciate you coming. Episode 660. I need you to come back on episode 666.
Oh, I'll be there. You have my phone number. You make sure you call me and remind me every single day. I do not want to miss that one.
Keep your Instagram turned on. Just keep it like so I could just message you directly and you could see it. Okay.
You got it, brother.
All right.
You got it. Good seeing you, Mike.
Thanks for the coffee. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for everything. God bless you, Kevin, and thank you for everything you do for Canada. We know.
Much.
God bless.
Mike, you're the best. Take care.
All right. There is Kevin right there. Thank you for coming on, Kevin. Jay Johnson here on Mike of the Night, episode 660. Thank you, Tig, for the coffee. Tio for the coffee. Tio buys me a coffee every week. Thank you, Tio. And JB for buying me a coffee. I'm not going to say your name, but JB bought me a coffee. Thanks, JB. Thanks, guys, for supporting and keeping this transmission going. And Sean Vision's asking, is Ed still around? Yeah, sure is still around. Edward, I spoke to him today. I spoke to Edward. He was on Mike in the Night last week. Yeah, I think he was on, or the week before. He was on Mike of the Night recently. Yeah, I missed the nightly shows with Eduardo. Yeah, I miss Eduardo and his nightly shows. He was trying to get me on a show last Thursday, but I was... What was I doing? I don't have my phone. I have to find a way where people could message me if they need to message me emergency wise, because I just put my phone down and hang out with my kids. I put my phone down and go to church. I put my phone down and go to the gym. I put my phone down a lot. So I don't really, as much as you think I'm on the phone, I'm not really on the phone as much as you'd think I'd be, right? But anyways, all right, guys, let's keep going here. Let's get I wanted to get Ben on from, oh God, I gotta stop yawning. I gotta get Ben on from South Africa to find out what's going on with their, I hope he's still there. I'm not sure what time it is in South Africa, but we're gonna, if someone could do a quick check for me, what time it is right now in South Africa. And let's see if we can get him on, because he's got updates on the persecution of white people. And I think you need to know what's happening with the white people in South Africa, because the same thing's going to happen to the white people in Canada and other countries, right? So I think it's important that we keep this this dialogue going, right? So, okay, let's see if I can get Ben on the show here. It's Mike of the Night, episode 660.
From Australia to New Zealand, from the UK to the USA, from Canada, the true voice of the Commonwealth, Mike in the Hey, voice of the Commonwealth, from the streets to the global well. Hear it loud, hear it clear tonight. It's Mike in the Night, shining light. Well, we don't follow, we lead the way through the noise, what they hide.
Ben?
Hello.
Ben.
So,
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
can you hear me?
I could hear you. Speak up a little bit, or speak a little bit closer to the microphone. So we
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you now perfectly.
Just go on. Want to go in?
Yeah, I could. You're kind of muffled there, a little bit muffled. Hello?
Mike, can you hear me?
I could hear you perfectly, buddy. Can you hear me? Hello?
Mike, can you hear me?
I could hear you perfectly. Hello?
Oh.
Okay, it looks like we're having audio issues here on Ben's side there. He may have his microphone shut off or his speaker shut off, so he can't hear me talking to him. So, yeah, stuff like this happens all the time. It's just, let's see if we can get him on. We need to, let's see if we get him here.
Hello, Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you perfect. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Good. Okay, yeah, in South Africa, it's now morning. So I must say, I don't know, I think it's daytime at your place, nah?
It's the day before. It's the evening here, the day before.
Okay.
We're still a day behind.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Thanks for coming on the show last minute like this. I got footage, video footage I'm going to play later of gangs, like big protest gangs in South Africa roaming the major streets and the major boulevards in the major cities, forcibly deporting people from other African nations, from all nations of the world, and telling them, get out of South Africa.
Yes, that is correct. They are busy doing that. They're chasing out all the other foreigners or other people from African countries out of South Africa. But they are concentrating on the Zimbabweans and the Mozambicans and the Malawians. So they forcefully removed them out of the country. Currently, according to what I know, there's about 14 people that were already killed by this xenophobia attacks from the, you can say partly it's, mostly it's Zulus that wants these people out of South Africa.
So what do they expect to do when they take, okay, so they're crushing or destroying their only food source in South Africa of the white farmers. Now the white farmers go, who's going to feed these people? Or did they have a plan in place to feed themselves once they destroy their own food source?
Yeah, currently they're not busy with the farmers. They're busy in the cities, in the big cities like Pretoria, Durban, Johannesburg, chasing out the foreigners, the people that's not having documentation and everything, chasing them out of the country. There was about, if I can say now, it was about between 8,000 to 9,000 Malawians that were chased out of Durban. That's only Durban, huh?
Yeah.
So the total of amount of people now that's currently stuck there at the border at Beitbridge, that's between South Africa and Zimbabwe, is about 140,000 people. That must be documented before they can leave the country. Okay. So yeah, it's a terrible situation. The people don't know where and what they must do, the foreigners that's not having documentation in South Africa.
Well, I could see them removing a lot of useless people from the country that are not going to contribute. But the problem is, what about the white farm or the people that contribute to building the country? What about those people? Who's going to maintain the infrastructure when these people go?
That's correct. It's a lot of these people. They like for instance in the building industry, they help to build houses and big malls and so on. They are very good craftsmen. They know how to build. And the thing is, most of the South Africans, they are lazy. They don't want to work.
Right.
They want to do. They are dependent on government grants and so on. And for the last 30 years, they didn't want to do anything, but now they want to chase these people out of the country. I don't know why, but it is a problem. It's like the culture. We foresee a lot of problems, and if the people are not going to leave South Africa, they will definitely kill them. What they say they will do that.
Because the streets there, I'm looking at footage that you've sent me, other people have sent me from South Africa. The main boulevards and streets are completely crumbling. The infrastructure, the sewer system, everything is completely collapsing because the Europeans that originally built that system is not there to fix the system. And Ben, I've been trying to tell people here in Canada the same thing in Canada, where you get rid of the European expansion in Canada, you're going to have a lot of problems here maintaining the Canadian infrastructure, because none of these people are picking up anything to fix anything here. It's the people that built it are being deported, or they're getting offered assisted suicide, or they're just killing us. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's happening here in Canada, right? So it's going to become like South Africa very soon.
Most definitely. You see, we in South Africa, here we've got about, I think, 69 municipalities now. That is now actually bankrupt. They must get funding from the national government. But because of corruption and all the theft cases going on, they're stealing money, a lot of money that comes from the national government to help the municipalities. Now, they steal the money through tenders now. and that tenders are all BEE related. So if you're not BEE connected, you don't get the tender. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And B is for their cadres. So all the municipalities that they were in charge of the municipalities, that is now the ANC regime, the government, their cadres are working at the municipalities, and they give the tenders to their cadres, nah? And now the BEE is causing lots of problems in South Africa, Mike. People think, no, everything is going smoothly in South Africa. There's no race laws against our people here in South Africa. They created this BEE to only benefit their own few people. And it's only a few people getting enriched by this BEE that they created in South Africa.
So they're misdistributing the wealth, and it's not being distributed properly, and it's not reaching the hands of the people
correct.
that need it, or the regions or the sectors. So if a school needs to be fixed, a sewer system needs to be fixed, but money is not reaching those sectors.
Not at all, not at all. And it's a huge problem because they get money from the International Monetary Fund or what, IMF, and they get money from Europe, and they get money from all over, and they steal the money through their corruption. If you must see what's going on in South Africa, our police are corrupt to the core. Our generals are corrupt. They are involved in tender scams where tenders were given for their cadres. They steal a lot of money in South Africa, Mike.
But what about the problem we're having? The problem I'm having is they are after the food structure. They're after are they still after the white farmers, or have they stopped, or have the white farmers left South Africa? Because I know a lot of white farmers are leaving South Africa. So what are they going to do for food in the next 3 years?
No, it's not only farmers. No? A lot of farmers did leave South Africa. We used to have about 40,000 farmers in South Africa. No? There's only 30,000 left. And with the refugee program from President Donald Trump from America, already 10,000 refugees left South Africa because of persecution in this country, because of this 145 race-based laws that's discriminating against our minority population.
Oh, it's terrible. It's very sad to see what's happening, and to go after Canada's the same thing. They're going after the people that built the country, that run the country, that maintain the country, and they're offering them assisted suicide. They're telling people to go ahead and go back to Europe. We don't care, leave, whatever. And they're making it impossible for us or the people that built the country to have children and continue our bloodline. You know what I'm saying? And we're being replaced with people from Pakistan, China, India. They're replacing us, right? And that's been a big problem here in Canada since 1993. And it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
And who's going to maintain the water facilities? We have infrastructure breaking here. And it's taking, it would take 2 weeks to fix the problem. Now, 3 years to fix the problem. Because if the people...
I think you're on the same path as South Africa. Remember 1994, the whole world, they looked at South Africa. They say it's a new democracy, nah? And I think things will work in South Africa. Democracy is not working in South Africa, Mike. We are now currently, there's a lot of groups in South Africa, nah? You can't say, it's not vigilante groups or whatsoever, nah? It's people that want a smooth change in government. They want another government. They don't want the ANC anymore. They want like a federal system in South Africa now, where each and every state will have like a state senator governing the state, and then all the you can say we've got about 12 different languages in South Africa, 12 different tribes, but that's just only you can say mostly of the African tribes. But then we've got in South Africa, we've got people from Germany, we've got people from Portugal, we've got people from England, Scotland, Ireland, all that other countries. That's also in South Africa, but we are the minority, understand? Now, the leaders of the African tribes, and the you can call it the kings,
Okay.
of the African tribes. They're also sick and tired of this democratic dispensation because they use the democracy to rule, to have rule over all the people, to tell the people what they must do. But in the meantime, we don't have freedom. We don't have a choice to take part in our own cultural sports. Like for instance, now the last 2 weeks, our cultural sport were attacked. Our Boki week. This is where the white communities having places from all over the country, all over the provinces, take part in rugby, netball, hockey, and other sport events. But it is the whites because it's a cultural venue or a place where all the people took part.
Right.
Now the government, the Minister of Sport, Gator McKenzie of South Africa, they attacked the whites. Say, why do we have inclusive sport? But we don't interfere with the African tribes with their rituals or with their sport functions or whatsoever. And according to our constitution, Mike, we have a right to carry out our religion free without the interference of the South African. We say the South African communist regime because they are communist aligned. Now they want to prescribe to us, the minority population, how we should take part in our religion, our churches. They want to interfere there. They interfere with our cultural sport to tell us we're not allowed to have this venues or these functions. We are sick and tired now of the ANC communist regime using democracy to rule over our people in the country, especially over our minorities. We are excluded. We have to pay taxes, high taxes, and all that type of things, but we are excluded out of the economy.
That's really, really sad to hear. Again, other countries are facing this wrath, and it's taking Canada, obviously, because it's a British white culture colony that started with the Irish, the Dutch, the French, the Scottish. It's a little bit different because the roots were predominantly white or white founding, right? Christian values. Now it's going the reverse. Now in Canada, Ben, I don't know if you know this, but the white Canadian has become the minority now. The white Canadian.
That's I can see it's a problem, yeah.
So that's there's nowhere for the European expansion to live, right? We go back to Europe. Europe is being taken over by Muslim. There's a Muslim invasion happening, but a lot of European countries are standing up to it and deporting people, and that's what's happening.
Yeah, but you in your country, your people must start a movement, to put pressure on your government, to also to put these people that's illegal in your country, to put them out of your country. Mike, hear me now. You're going to have lots of problems.
But Ben, we got a tiny problem in Canada, and we on Mike in the Night in 2018 November, we covered a Mike in the Night that was very important on this show, and we covered that Canada signed the UN Migration Pact for Open Borders in November 2018. Whoa. They signed the UN Migration Pact for migrants to come in, not immigrants. Immigrants have to go through a vetting process, background check, make sure they're not stealing a Canadian's job, make sure they're going to produce for the country. The UN Migration Pact in 2018 November was signed by Justin Trudeau to allow migrants to come in and use the country. Migrants don't build anything, Ben. They don't produce anything, Ben. They don't fix anything, Ben.
Nothing.
They don't, you see, migrants. So immigrants are the Portuguese, the Italian, the Dutch, the French. They built. Now, the UN Migration Pact is what destroyed us here. And 103 other countries signed the same UN Migration Pact, allowing migrants to come in and basically take the country over.
Okay, but I can see now, I don't know if Canada is part of the European, if they are also part of some of the European countries acts or whatever, if they also fall under the European Parliament. But I saw something in the European Parliament. They now turning against the Immigration Act.
Mhm.
So now it is law that they must put all the illegal immigrants out of their countries.
Mhm. Someone saying
So
in the
they
comments.
voted.
Someone in the comments, Ben, is saying what the speaker says are what the speaker is saying are copied from mainland China policies.
It could be. It could be because China is also, you know what, they don't have any democracy in China, Nothing.
Oh, they're
The
burning
government
churches.
tells you it's communism. They tell.
Yeah, they're burning churches. They're going.
Mike, are you there?
I'm here. They're going after
Yeah.
They're going after underground churches now in the countryside of China now. China was going after the main cities, the main churches, the main Jesus Christ, the whole main thing. Now they're going out into the country and looking for underground churches now.
Yeah, they actually demolished the Muslim churches also.
Yeah.
But I heard they are busy now with the churches also, the Christian churches.
Yeah,
So
they've
they
been
don't
after
want
the Christians for.
the Christian religion there.
Yeah. Are you driving? Do you have to go?
Yes, I'm on the road, but you can still speak. I'm just on the road, but you can speak now.
Okay. I just want to make sure you don't get in trouble while you're talking to us. But
No.
well, it's really good
Yeah,
to
with us it's now early in the morning. Okay,
Yes.
now I'm going to stop now. It's early in the morning. It's about 4:00 here in South Africa.
Uh-huh.
So the traffic officials are not a lot on the road, as well as the police. And that's why our crime is also very high.
Mhm.
If you move around during the night or in the morning, you must be very careful because all the criminals are moving around during the night and during the morning, early morning hours.
Wow. Where are you off to now? Are you going home or?
No, I was just looking for a vehicle because I'm escorting a vehicle. I'm a private security risk consultant. So I'm working for a company. I'm escorting the vehicles to see that they are not hijacked. That is how our country becomes.
Wow. So you got to make sure the vehicles you are escorting don't become hijacked.
That's correct. They are transporting medicines, and medicines is very expensive in South Africa. So the criminals are even hijacking vehicles that's transporting medicines.
I don't know what to say, Ben. I'm lost for words, and I'm very scared that Canada will be like this, and they're on the path to it. They're on the path to where you guys are. Wow.
No, definitely.
Wow. All right,
Well,
Ben.
I can just tell your listeners now that
Yeah.
the things that they see in the newspapers overseas now about South Africa, they don't put in the real things that's happening in South Africa. So all the people over the world think that everything is going very smooth in South Africa.
No, it's not.
There's no crime. There's no murders. You know what? Our statistics about the farm murders. About every month, there's about 2 or 3 farmers that's been killed. We only have 30,000 farmers now. Now, out of the population, out of 62 million, you can think for yourself. What is the percentage of the farmers? The farmers are only 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
The population is 62 million. So the farmers are providing food. They're producing the crops and everything, so that the population can eat and so on.
Right.
So it is out of the 30,000 farmers that's left. Every month there's about 2 or 3 farmers that's been killed. And then we don't even talk about the farmer tax. So things in South Africa is not what the media overseas tell you, that there's no farm murders, there's not persecution in South Africa. That is all a lie.
Mm-hmm.
They must come to South Africa and people see for themselves what's going on in South Africa.
Yep. Yep, because they're making it seem. Because I was watching the news here, the Canadian news. Because sometimes I go to a gym, and when I'm at the gym, I'm looking at the TV, and there's always mainstream media, and they were saying, "Oh, South Africa and Donald Trump is destroying." They actually had a segment that Donald Trump is destroying South Africa, removing farmers, so the South Africans trying to sabotage South Africa, so the people in South Africa starve because he's removing the farmers.
Yo, that is negative publicity that they are using there. Nah?
Yeah.
It is not all the farmers that's going over to America. Lots of the people that's going over, it's civilians.
Yeah.
We are the Boer nation. Huh? We are the Boer. Huh? So lots of the people are persecuted. They don't get jobs. They are excluded out of the economy. They don't survive because they don't get the job.
Yeah.
If they apply for a job in South Africa, everything is about race quotas. Nah? And then the companies tell, the government force the companies to say, for instance, employ 80% Africans, 20% must be divided between the whites, the Indians, and the coloreds. 20%, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can think for yourself, our whites in South Africa, where do they get food on the table if they don't have a job to work, where they don't have a job?
Yeah.
They can't provide their families with food. So they want to exterminate our white minority population in South Africa, but not only our whites, the Indians as well as the coloreds and the Khoisan in South Africa.
Interesting.
They try to force us out of South Africa, Mike. That is what they are doing. That's why they're creating all this 145 race-based laws against us.
But race-based laws, you talked about this last time you were on the show, but let me ask you this. What contingency plans do these people have in place to feed their people when the people that produce the food leave? That's what I need to know.
I don't know. They will import it now at a very costly price from overseas European nations or whatsoever. Zimbabwe now, currently, the farmers don't want to go back to go and farm on the farms there. Although the government in Zimbabwe say they want to pay some farmers the money for the expropriation that took place there now. Mm-hmm. But the farmers don't want to go back there. So who's going to produce the food there in Zimbabwe? Still Zimbabwe, nah? They get food from South Africa. They import their food from South Africa. All the vegetables, the maize, the white maize, the yellow maize, everything.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's pretty intense because Africa is going to starve. I think it was a video we made. We made a prediction video back in 2020 that Africa will starve by 2030 at the rate it's going at. And
that's 100%, Mike. It will happen because you know what? Our population, a few years ago, about 20, 30 years ago, the population was not even 62 million. Huh? There was about, I think, 40 million or something. Our population grows so much now that if they're going to stop, killing the farmers now,
right?
Where are they going to get the food? Mm-hmm. So that will be a huge problem. As I told you now, and we're not lying, there was 40,000 farmers in South Africa. Now only 30,000 farmers left.
To feed 60 million people.
I don't know.
If you do basic math, it
62 million people.
And if you do basic math, it doesn't add up, no matter what you do.
Not at all. And you know what the problem now in South Africa also, Mike? Lots of those big companies, they're putting out of South Africa. There's the beers now. They're going to close the mines there because the diamonds that the Russians are producing, that's lab diamonds now, is causing the market of the diamonds now to fall. Yes. So in Zimbabwe, in Botswana, our neighboring country also, they have to close down mines there. Now in South Africa, the beers have to close down a mine. Huh? Mm-hmm. Over 3,000 to 4,000 people is going to be jobless.
Whoa, that's huge. That's huge, man. Wow. Now
we're having really problems, and our economy is not growing. It's not growing. There was now, last year, Nissan in Pretoria closed down. They just have a huge plant there where they assemble the Nissan vehicles. Now, the
Yeah, Nissan cars,
Navaras
trucks, pickup
and the
trucks,
Nissan vehicles,
work
huh?
vehicles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nissan
So they
closed down
closed
there.
down. Now the Chinese come in. They put up. They take over the Nissan factory, the plant, and now they're producing the cherry vehicles there in Pretoria. So what's going on? The Chinese are bringing in all their equipment to build their vehicles and all that nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah, well, China's been again taking land in all over Africa and creating and building mines and not giving nothing to the people, right? And just raping the resources from the country to bring back to mainland China, right? And they were stealing sand from Mozambique, from Portuguese Africa. They were stealing sand, Ben, in 2016, 2017 from Mozambique to take it back to build their islands of terror in China, those islands that they built there off the coast of in the South China Sea. Yep, they were stealing dirt, sand from Mozambique, and they deforested half of that country too. The Chinese deforested half of Mozambique for wood. So yeah, so we're in a big situation. The world's in a big shit world of problems right now, Ben. Anyways, Ben, I'm gonna let you.
Angola,
In
Angola, the Angolanian people, they are chasing out the Chinese there now. Huh?
Yes, they are. In Angola, we covered it on Mike of the Night, Portuguese Africa, because I watched the news from Angola, Ben. I watched the news with my children from Angola. We watched like 2 different news stations from Angola, because I want my kids to learn Portuguese, right? So we're watching the news, and they're telling, we want the Chinese get the hell out of here. They don't do nothing. They're racist. They treat us like crap. Get the hell out of Portuguese Africa. Get out. So yeah, they are pushing the Chinese out. If they're arresting them, they're just arresting them and sending them back to their country. It's like, get out of here. We don't care if you have a mattress factory. We don't care what you're building here. You're not, because it's not supporting the people of the country. It's only supporting them.
Yeah.
So.
Now they're busy there now in Angola. So I don't know what's going on there, but I saw that. That was now a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Where the people from Angola, they are not taking nonsense of this Chinese people.
No, it's done. It's over. Game over. Get out of Portuguese Africa. So that's what's happening there. I don't know what Mozambique's going to do, but we'll see what happens there.
And here in South Africa, we've got the commission, the Matlanga Commission. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
You must see how many cases are now opened up there of the people that were involved in corruption. Huh?
Oh, so many.
Stealing money. Nah? And, South Africa is not at a good state at this moment. Huh?
No,
Lots of the top generals of the police was arrested a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Was arrested for corruption and tender fraud and everything. Huh? Mm-hmm. That is now our police. Are so corrupt. Huh? Okay, I can't say all the policemen, but a lot of policemen are very corrupt.
Yeah, a good
taking
85%.
Bribes.
85%.
Yeah, they're taking bribes. If like the Mozambicans or the Zimbabweans, they go to a place, they go to raid the place, and then they ask extortion money.
Yes.
And then the people just pay them just to stay in South Africa because they don't have jobs in Zimbabwe or Mozambique. So the police are taking extortion money from these people.
To keep them, it's like a mafia racket. They're keeping.
So that's how South Africa became corrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Ben, I'm going to let you go do your job there and do your thing. I see you kind of busy. We'll get you back on in 3 or 4 weeks to update us, okay, brother?
Okay, I will. Thanks very much, Mike, for inviting me.
Yeah.
And please, your listeners must listen. They must start standing up and creating groups or pressure groups, forcing your government, the Canadian government now, to start acting against this illegal foreigners, chasing them out of the country. Put them out, because they're going to make what is currently busy in South Africa now, that there's going to be violence. You understand?
Yes.
How do you remove these people?
Well, here's the problem.
It's now like a situation.
What we're seeing here in Canada is very interesting violence. We have the Palestinians against the Indians, the Pakistans against the Indians. They're all fighting their little wars on Canadian soil, Ben. So that's the problem.
Your people must stand up. You must stand up and put pressure on your government to put these people out of your country.
Yeah.
Your country is going to become the same as South Africa. A corrupt country, we're going to have to pay lots of taxes. Your money is going to be stolen. It's not going to be used for your building up of your country, for your citizens, the real citizens of your country, the people that were born there. So they will use this money to give to this all this Pakistanians and Somalians and all that rubbish people.
100%. Okay, brother. You have a good one. Have a good
Okay,
day at
Mike.
work.
Thanks a lot, and enjoy, and all you people there must be safe. No? Thanks very much.
God bless you.
Bye. Thanks a lot, bye.
Yep. All right, guys. That's Ben, our boy Ben, security detail from South Africa. Thank you, Gillis, Susie, John, and Tio, and Tig for the coffees today. Thanks, guys. I guess Kevin motivated you guys to buy me a coffee tonight on Mike of the Night. Thanks, guys, for the coffee. Tig is saying our money is in the Ukraine. Of course they're going to launder the money over there. We told you the day this Ukraine war kicked off, what was it, 4 years ago? We said, don't take sides. It's all money laundering. It's all money laundering. Everyone said, oh, Mike, you're such a fatso. You're so fat. And I'm like, wow, okay, all right. Okay, I'm fat, you know? Yep, so we got Dino Bravo here. We got Tig here. We got Paul PDS10 here. Yeah, here on Mike of the Night. Okay, so let's see who else is here. Let's see who else is here on Mike in the Night. Just checking to make sure the stream is running quite nicely here. Yeah, guys, these are just checking her out. All right, guys, Mike of the Night. Let's go over the... Guys, you are tuned into episode 660 of Mike of the Night. The masks are falling off. And, guys, if you want to join our email list, email me at MikeMartins1980@gmail.com, and I'll add you to our email list if you want to go ahead and if you want to not miss an episode of Mike of the Night. It's viewer discretion is advised. 21 and older. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Fact check and do your own research. 18 U.S. Code Section 22574 for Mike in the Night. All right, guys. Woo, 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 woo. Thank you, everybody, for tonight. Okay. Dark Times for Real, says Ghostly Doors, PDS10. Kareka. And we got Crookfield is laundering money too. Yep, so it's good to see all the usual suspects here tonight on Mike in the Night. We got Glenn, Canada's favorite. If you guys don't know Glenn, Glenn is Canada's most famous homeless man. In the chat tonight, he's been on the show a few times. He's Canada's most famous homeless man here on Mike in the Night. And Jay Scientist in the house, thanks for being here. Woo! It's Mike in the Night. All right, so yeah. So we got our
Hiya, pal. You're taking a trip to Paris.
I got a soundboard open here tonight to level things out a little bit here, or to soften things up a little bit. You're talking about...
You're talking about all man.
Oh yeah, on Mike in the Night. Yes, Glenn is Hobo Pride Canada-wide here on Mike in the Night. All right, guys, I think I had like 2 or 3 more headlines I wanted to go over. We got two. I just want to go over the war here real quick. And let's go do some war talk here real quick. U.S. strikes civilian infrastructure in Iran. Tehran retaliates against Gulf bases. So there it is right here. It's going back. It's going hard. And Iran in full-scale war with U.S. economy at forefront. And that's coming from Press TV from Iran. And they're saying President Mossad, I can't say that because I can't read it, says Iran is engaged in full-scale war with the United States, with the economy and people's livelihood being on the forefront of the battle. And U.S. planning for wider war with Iran. So the White House is likely to unaware it lacks the resources needed for an extended military campaign, an American official has told the paper. Now, back in 2015, we asked you guys, I just made a short video in 2015, a regular video, and I said to you guys, can America win its next war? For real. So this is before the whole Ukraine and everything, all this garbage. This is, can America win its next war? This was back in 2015. Because America was stretched out thin then in 2015. What about now? And was the whole Ukraine munitions and money laundering through the Ukraine pretty much ran America dry? And then them abandoning all that military equipment in Afghanistan. Man, you can't make this stuff up, man. Yeah, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. America's thinned out dry. And resumption of Iran war pushes average gas price over $4 a gallon. So the taxpayers are on the taxpayers are paying for that. And Iran thanks Jordanians for helping targeting U.S. forces. Local intelligence enabled ballistic missiles attacks on American aircraft and military facilities in the country, according to the IRGC. So now let me tell you guys, prediction. I missed my Saturday prediction video for you guys, but I got a prediction for you guys. I see retaliation coming on American soil within the next 6 months to a year. I see a retaliation coming on American soil. I don't want it because it's close to home. But still, I could see retaliation. I could see them sending back problems to America. And I don't know, guys. I don't know why this... we predicted this. It's all there. The prediction videos are up. The prediction videos are up. And I said, if Trump is allowed to be reelected, and we said this, the video's up, he'll go full-scale war with Hezbollah, Iran, with Israel together, attacking Hezbollah, Iran, and basically full-scale wars. And there's going to be problems in the Strait of Hormuz. And we told you that we're going to use that one next if Trump got elected. And that's why we've been telling you for years here, don't take sides. Remember Benny Hill? Don't assume, because you'll make an ass out of you and me. All right, let's keep going here. We got that done. And, EU. So, in the EU, pay close attention because this is going to happen in North America. Syrian axe attacker avoids prison after being ruled not criminally responsible for ICE train rampage. The 21-year-old will remain in psychiatric care after the train attack in Germany left 2 passengers with fractured skulls. So that was the axe attack that happened there. Syrian attacker there in Germany. And male passenger invokes Sharia law to refuse sitting next to a woman, then attacks female flight attendant. So, 29-year-old Turkish migrants living in Germany, finally they used the right word, migrant, not immigrant, migrant, living in Germany refused to sit next to a woman on a flight because Sharia law, then punched or slapped the female flight attendant who dared confront him. And Sudanese migrant arrested over serial sexual attacks against minors spanning years on the Toulouse bus route. Police say the 54-year-old man repeatedly trapping young female passengers beside him before touching them during the journeys on the same route. And Boris Johnson calls white depopulation a blessing. Remember this piece of crap? Blessing. Demands race mixing to erase European bloodlines. And 3/4 of refugee-linked households in Vienna rely on taxpayer handouts. Statistics Austria data shows 47% of 103,000 refugee-linked households nationwide are not self-sufficient, with welfare dependence rising 75% in Vienna. So that's your European, what's happening there. And China rejects Trump election interference allegation as fabricated. No. China is the biggest bullshit in the world. They are compromising everything. They're lying about their population. There's only 400 million people in China, and 200 million of them are over 60. Watch out. They're going through a population crisis in China right now, and that's why they're going for robots. The Chinese are crashing. They're finished. And Yeah, so Victoria, this is Australia. This is an important one. Victoria to force social media companies to identify users accused of vilification. So they're going to start, the trigger for losing your anonymity in Victoria, Australia will be an accusation, not a finding of guilt. So they're going to be going after people with anonymous accounts and basically putting them in jail. And 5 civilians killed in Ukrainian drone strike on bus. So Ukrainian kamikaze drone hit a passenger bus in a town of Shebyokino in Russia's Belgorod region on Monday, killing 5 and injuring more than 20 others, acting Governor Alexandra Suva has said. So they're going after civilian infrastructure. Iran war live. Yemen Houthis announce maritime blockade of Saudi Arabia. So, yeah, man. I just wanted to put some of this stuff out there so you guys know what the heck is going on. Yeah. Who else we got here? Who else do we got here tonight on Mike in the Night? I think we're going to get No Way Jose on if he comes on. I haven't seen him yet. And I would like to get Supreme Cannon on because we haven't had him on in about 2 weeks. And... So Malaysia, heavy rains. So let's head over to Forbidden News from Canada. Forbidden News. So we got lots of heavy water there in Malaysia. A lot of people are, a lot of their mechanical infrastructure will get damaged from this. This is gonna destroy a lot of people's vehicles and stuff. And yeah, it's really hard to. Once the engine compartments start filling with water and interiors filling with water, it's very hard to get it back to its original condition. A lot of people send prayers out for these people. They're suffering. This is act of God, and it's happening all over the world. Fight breaks out at Yonge and Dundas in Toronto. This is Toronto, Ontario, Canada, guys. And I don't know what the heck is going on, but it looks like it's in a foreign country too. There's all these people filming and getting in there, and holy smokes. Yeah, there's probably a lot of swearing in this thing. I don't see any. Do you see any Canadian? I see like 1 or 2 Canadian people in that video. Maybe this is, it looks like it's out of the Eaton Center there. Ukraine strikes Russian fuel infrastructure in major drone attack. So more and more, I think maybe it may be a good idea to get back into some oil. Maybe reinvest in a little bit of oil. I bought some oil again this morning. I think I bought my oil. I told you guys back in November last year, we're going to go to war, buy oil. And I told you guys to buy Baytex, Athabasca, and Crescent Point. Don't take my advice. I'm not a financial... Don't listen to me. But do your research. And I did that back in November and October. Was it October last year? And we did okay. And then I sold after the war looked like it was coming to an end. Oil dropped again. And then I just bought back in this morning because it looks like we're going to go back at it again. So that's how you kind of manage the markets and kind of see through... Re-immigration passage message displayed above busy road in Salzburg. So this is in Salzburg. There it is right there. Re-immigration. Drive Austria. There it is right there. And two women try to stuff a massive area rug into a washing machine in a laundromat in Toronto. Wow, we got lots of Toronto here tonight. Yeah, if they said this was if they didn't say this was Toronto, I would have thought this was somewhere overseas in the Middle East somewhere. I would have never guessed this would have been Canada, but it is in Canada. Yeah. And tornado, real tornado footage captured on Canada on Saturday. There's a tornado right there. Looks what, category 2? Twister there. That was in Oakville, Milton, Burlington area. And Mexico. This is 2 days ago in Mexico. Yeah. in Sonora, Mexico. Look at that get washed away. How Argentina's left Times Square. It was wow, it was completely trashed. Holy smokes. Wow. And Porto, Portugal. Big Porto's Portugal's partying, man. This is the fireworks of St. John, São João. São João. It's kind of funny how the Portuguese, when they came over to Canada, St. John's, they named St. John's in Nova Scotia, New Scotland. Portuguese were mapping the peninsula in 1410, Louis Labrador. So there it is right there, São João, Fogo de São João in Porto, Portugal. What a beautiful sight. Yeah, it's happening in Portugal, folks. And disgusting scene emerges as crowd of Argentinian fans celebrate their historic victory over England by burning the English flag. And send them home chants erupt in Germany as its citizens have had enough. Yeah, send them home. And Japanese woman says she doesn't want Pakistani migrants in Japan because they are inbred and have low IQs and are disproportionately more likely to be rapists. So that's going viral all over Japan there. And thousands of Les Patriots support the march in Paris demanding Frexit. France have been wanting to leave the European Union for years. And we told you Macron forever. We told you back in 2017, Macron's going to be here forever. He's not going nowhere. And USA historic Brooklyn church destroyed in massive fire, investigation underway. That's what's happening. Brooklyn there. No! Sleep till Brooklyn! Video captures massive flames engulfing the spirit iconic 150-year-old Van de Kerk church located in Amsterdam, Netherlands. No! Sleep. I got that song in my head. I got Beastie Boys in my head. And did you know that Portugal produces some of the world's finest olive oil? It's so fine that the Greeks and Italians buy olive oil from Portugal. It is so fine and it's so good. So if you guys are looking for a good supplement to add to your diet, go and find some Portuguese olive oil, folks. I'm telling you. I went to go see those trees when I was in Portugal. Oh, yeah. And Lai Chau province, Vietnam, is suffering too. This was 3 days ago. They are suffering from flooding there too. Vietnam is turning... again, it's Wrath of God. This is the Wrath of God that is out. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah. More footage. Someone sent me this, so I wanted to save it for you guys. Porto, Portugal. That's a bridge there in Porto in northern Portugal. Celebrations are going nice and steady there. Everything seems to be going nice and smooth in Portugal. Wow. Look at the stars in the sky, too. Look at the stars. Wow. All right. Deportation crackdown. Over 53,000 immigrants deported or repatriated from South Africa in 5 weeks. This is what I was talking to Ben about. This is what I was talking to Ben about right here. 53,000 immigrants deported and repatriated from South Africa in 5 weeks. So there it is right there. This is the mob rule that's going around basically telling people where they got to go. And thieves leave entire police fleet without wheels in Germany. Look at Germany. Look. All the cars. There's no tires on any of the cars. Look at that. They took all the rims and tires off the cars. Yep. There it is. Rims and tires off the cars. And this is a very, this is a restaurant, Portuguese restaurant here, and I just wanted to show you guys some of the seafood, how it comes out. It usually comes out on a big boat, and then you got all your crab, you got all your shrimp, you got all your everything. I've eaten in restaurants like this, and it's really, really good if you like seafood, especially if you're in if you're in Portugal and you like seafood. Check it out. And I don't know why I closed that there. Let's go back. That was a good one too. Where was that? What was the video? Oh, the video was taken down. Okay. Okay. Or was it? Okay. Feeding our kids plastic glue. This one shows you how the Oreo cookies are made. The cream in the middle is not cream. I think we had someone on the show cover this 2-3 years ago, and how Oreo cookies are made. And I don't know what it is about food tonight, but there's some Portuguese food there again. Oh my god, I don't know what it is. I saved a lot of food videos this last week. I don't know why, but looking at this and like, say, I think I need to go back to Portugal. I think I need to. Yeah. Oh, the Templar thing in Portugal now is happening, guys. So, yeah, the Templar heritage of the Cavaleiros Templarios are happening right now. It's a week-long festivity in Portugal, and it's really, really well made. It's been going on for 1,000 years. This festival. It's not a Renaissance fair. People think it's a no, it's not. This is like true Portuguese heritage, true Portuguese. This is not no heritage crap. It's not no. Sorry, not heritage. What do you call those? It's not one of those recreation. This is a real deal. This is a real deal culture thing in Portugal. Renaissance is what I'm saying. They call it Renaissance fairs in America, but this is not a Renaissance fair. This is different. This is a culture thing. That's what I meant to say. Okay, there it is right there. And again, anti-immigration protesters issue sinister ultimatum.
Because we've been calling for you guys to leave the country. Why are you still here? No, my brother. No. Please respect what we are saying, and don't try and oppose what we are doing. Don't listen to the government. Don't listen to the police. Don't listen to anyone. Just listen to us. We are saying this peacefully. Please go to your country. 30 June is the deadline, but it's not like you must leave on the 30th of June. Yes. Don't leave on the 30th of June. Leave now, because the 30th of June, I can't control people of South Africa. All right, let's do the right thing. Respect our country, respect us.
So South Africa is pushing people out and going up to people and telling them they got till the 30th June to get out. People of Germany have had enough mass immigration, and they are chanting "Send them home." Yeah, we already covered this, but yep, migration. It's migrants, right? Iran war update: U.S. launches fresh strikes on multiple targets. I saw this and I'm like, I'm gonna invest a little bit more back. I have to invest in oil. I got to put money into oil. They're gonna the price of oil is gonna go $200-300 a barrel. So yeah. And yeah, this guy here, Chinese people pooping everywhere. This is a store in China. Look at this. He's just, what the hell, man? I think they have diapers for that. Canada have Detroit and New York smoked out and surrounding areas. Yeah. And we said in our video back in 2024, America, look at this, because 2024 was a big smoke year for us here too. Look what's happening. Iraq is not your enemy. Canada is your biggest threat. This is all arson. All of this is arsonists. And robots are taking over human jobs faster than you expect. And the robots are taking over jobs. They're stealing people's cars, and putting in gas. Grain, moving around grain so it doesn't mold. Drone, I guess it's a drone detachment center there. They got a drone detachment center. Self-driving cars. And you got a cleaner. $13,700 will clean your house. Sinks, toilets, everything. And it looks like it's building, I don't know, something like I don't know, looks like a carburetor of sorts, or some sort of water coolant. I don't know. It's building something. Folds laundry, and this one does moving stuff around. And Amazon has 750,000 robots to deploy in their warehouses. Robot surgeons. So, yeah. And wildfires in northwestern Ontario, Canada today. Wildfires, again, it's all arson. China stages first world's humanoid robot MMA tournament. And it looks like, the Chinamen fighting. You see, look at that. So, yeah, at least they got the posture down properly. In Ontario, Canada, again, arson season. We keep saying, America, wake up. Canada's your biggest threat, not Iraq. And BC woman seen sleeping at a Tesla as it auto drives. There's taking a nap. Yep, taking a nap. 74-year-old man being attacked by a group of 6 teens in Baltimore. So a 74-year-old man getting beaten, pretty much looking like they're going to beat him to a pulp. Look at that. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. All right, guys, that's Forbidden News for Canada. Thanks for being tuning into this segment of the show. I really like this segment of the show because it gives you a good visual aspect of what's really going on around the world. All right. Someone's saying AI centers, that Alberta can't have fires this year. AI centers need to be launched in peace for 2026. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's get yeah, No Way Jose was supposed to call into the show. I want to get him on the show here because he wants to update us on a few things that's happening, and we could get him on the show, and then we could wind the show down with the Supreme Candidate could wind the show down for us. And I don't know about doing a Mike of the Night-a-thon. I was thinking about it. So thanks, Gillis. Thanks, Susie. Thanks, John. Thanks, Tio. Thanks, Tig, for the coffees tonight on Mike of the Night. I really appreciate that. So, someone's saying to get the Raven on. He has to message me if he wants to come on. I don't know where he's at. I don't know if he's working. All he has to do is just, if he's tuned into the show, right? If he tunes into the show, he could message me anytime. And I saw him last week. Was it last week already? Or 2 weeks ago? He came by the store, spent an hour with me, and then went on his way. Do a 12-hour Mike in the Night-a-thon. No, I can't do 12 hours. I could probably do a 6-hour show. You know, fundraiser. We could do a fundraiser. Try to raise some funds for my internet bill and electricity bill. Yeah. So it looks like No Way Jose is not. Let's try and call No Way Jose, guy. Let's try and call No Way Jose.
They say 5 nations, one voice, one sound. When the truth drops, feel that ground. Hey, midnight calling, yeah, the signals light across the oceans. Feel that vibe. Sydney lights to London rain. New York Post to Canada's plane. People dancing, but they feel that shift. Something's changing, something's amiss. Through the static, through the lights, there's a voice they can't disguise.
All right, guys, sorry about that. No Way Jose is not picking up a phone. Guys, sorry, there's people knocking on my door every 2 seconds. Let me go take a look at who it is. I don't know what's going on.
Yes, Mike, he's inside, upstairs playing. Yeah, he's upstairs.
Sorry, guys. I've been doing this show for 10 years now, and nobody knows that. So it's been a secret that I've been doing a show for the last 10 years here. Anyways, all right, let's do this here. Yeah, it looks like No Way Jose is not picking up the phone, so we'll get Oh, I got here. Let me know if I can give you my number, but Instagram won't let me use a phone icon anymore. Yeah, it's erased here. Someone's going on a data phone or an older phone, and it's not giving them the option to call into the show. Okay, so let's get No Way Jose. No Way Jose is not available, guys, tonight. Sorry. And let's see if I could play something here. Ooh, I like this one. Oh, new rap. Oh,
Time for Mike in the night. Hands
All right.
up, city lights burning bright. It's time for Mike in the night. Wake up now, cause something ain't right. It's time for Mike in the night. Radio glow in the streets outside. It's time for Mike in the night. People out of light, let's ride. Roll through the city and the skyline shakes. Coffee on the desk while the whole world wakes. Screens all blowing, headlines flying. Everybody asking Mike who's lying. Phones keep ringing, people tuned in. Dots get connected, now the show begins. 3 a.m. no sleep tonight. Got the whole world watching under Leon light. Laven likes to listen to Mike in the night. Lenny Poole likes to listen to Mike in the night. Edward O likes to listen to Mike in the night. Kevin J. Johnston likes to listen to Mike in the night. New York, Bel Air, Miami, Alabama, Tennessee, New Jersey, Tampa, Boston, Augusta, Canada. Likes to listen to Mike in the night. All of America likes listening to Mike in the night. Australia likes to listen to Mike in the night. From Vancouver Lakes to the ocean shore, people tuned in, want more and more. No sides taken, just open eyes. Look at the pattern beneath the skies. Big bass, you know when the speakers pound. People of the night from town to town. Raise them up if you're feeling alright. Yeah, it's time for Mike in the night. It's time for Mike in the night. It's time for Mike in the night.
Supreme is not picking up his phone. Supreme is not picking up his phone. Oh. Supreme, you there, buddy? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, we could barely hear you.
Okay, give me a second here. Try the gain. Also, let me mute this thing. How are you? Are you there?
Yeah, I could hear you. I don't know why I could barely hear you. Let me know if you could hear Supreme Cannon in the chat there.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, so
All
tell
right.
us what's going on, buddy.
Well, everything. You're covering a lot of it tonight. The slow motion train wreck continues apace. We see.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're not shocked by any of this, are we?
No, it's got to a point like
Yeah.
what we're in damage control now. We're like, what's going on now? Where people are, our wages are going to nothing. The cost of living is going up. It's all happening like we said 10 years ago, and it's all happening today. And now what? Like, what is going on? Like what? Like what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is as always, it's the purpose of preparing the way that we've been pounding on the table for people to do is so that you're on the high ground when the flood comes.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be a lot of people. There's people getting swept away by it already, and they're going to get angry. Drowning people are not going to fall into line.
Yeah.
Hungry people are not going to fall into line. People whose loved ones are getting killed by people that don't belong in this country just arrived 10 minutes ago are not going to fall into line.
Yeah.
They're not going to take a mark on their forehead. They're not going to tolerate surveillance. They're not going to start, okay, I better watch what I say because I better not think the wrong thing. They're not going to do that.
Well, Bill C9 kicks off.
Why the hell would they?
Yesterday or today, Bill C9 went into place. Basically, anything is considered hate speech now. Absolutely anything is hate speech now. And
Sure. Yeah, absolutely it is. Well, the thing is that we hate these people. We absolutely hate them. The people that are doing this to us, we despise them. and they're not in power legally. You know, they bribed 5 conservative MPs to cross the floor in Parliament to get these things passed. Right? They disenfranchised the people from 5 ridings in Canada. They're not legal. They're not legitimate.
Yep. They're not immigrants. Because, again, you covered this. You were on the show. I think you were on the show of November 2018, Mike and the Knights UN Migration Pact. It's up on YouTube. You can watch it. Where Canada signed in the UN Migration Pact that day on November 2018 with Justin Trudeau, basically allowing migrants to come into Canada openly without offering any experience, any job, without anything, just come right into Canada. And 103, I think it was 103 countries signed on to this too. So
I remember on Facebook and on even on Twitter, I was seeing ads from the BC government for 10 years ago for helping Syrians that were fleeing the war to get mechanic jobs and skilled trades jobs in British Columbia.
Yeah, but that's skilled trades.
The relocation has been going on for a long time.
No. Skilled trades are different. I'm talking about people coming in with nothing. They're migrant. They're just coming in to be here. That's it.
Well, I mean, when I say that, that's the skin suit. It's not about we're going to bring them in so they can have a new life. It's like we're bringing them in so that you don't get to have a new life.
That's right. Or you get replaced.
Right. Yeah. We don't actually care about these things. Right. We're not going to use the money to send them to trade school.
Right.
So they can go they can go, run an excavator on a dam up north or, anything like. No, we're just bringing them in here to soak up the money. But there is, we were talking about on the phone the other day, there is a theory that a great deal of this is because there was so much money printing in 2020 when they actually tried to institute year 0. And I will try not to die on this hill, but I'm standing on it. I think that's when they made their move. And now they've got a problem because they've printed all these trillions of dollars, and you need, they can't have wage inflation, right? Because first of all, that would financially empower us.
Yeah.
Right. But the other thing is they want us poor and them rich, obviously. So what do? Well, they fund the country with people, but they have to continue borrowing enormous amounts of money because they're not producing anything.
Right.
Smitty, the Epstein class will forget the day they were born. I suspect a lot of them do already. Because you got to keep in mind, and I'm not saying this from any place of pity and compassion. These people's lives are hell too.
What are you replying to? Sorry, Supreme. I'm not sure.
Oh, it was just pending. I just approved it. So it's from Smitty 25CA. I don't think these people enjoy their lives very much either.
Oh, I see. You're replying to someone in the comments. Sorry, I got thrown off there.
Okay. They got the yachts and they got all that stuff, but they're beholden to do, the most degrading and disgusting things to see. This is the thing, like 50, 60 years ago, this was things that they inflicted on other people, but they didn't, they'd never let their children be exposed to it. They went to private schools. They didn't do any of this stuff, right, themselves. But, they got lazy, like all people from that time did, and complacent, and thought that they were, the end of history people. And they never bothered to teach any of this to their children. They just kind of let them run wild, and they wound up drinking the Kool-Aid too.
Mm-hmm.
Like Elon Musk has a trans son.
Mm-hmm.
This handsome young man who should be wealthy and successful and the rest of it, and he's a wreck. He's a freak. Do you think Elon enjoys that? I'm not saying I feel sorry for him, but on the other hand, as a father, I kind of do. It's like, what did you think you signed up for, man?
I wanted to.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
That's the theme I'm getting at. Like, the hell is spreading everywhere. And the fact is that there's just too many people that are aware now. C9 is just going to create a Streisand effect. Don't talk about this, don't talk about that, or else what, Brother Trucker? Or else what? What we need is mass non-compliance. If 500,000 people in Canada said, no, I'm going to say whatever I want, and screw you.
We're not even saying anything out of the ordinary. We're not even talking, you know what I'm saying? We're just asking simple questions. And if you want to question your country and why something's being taken over, why something's being destroyed, why something's not being fixed, why something isn't being manufactured, we have the right to ask that. because we built this damn. My dad built this country. Okay.
Well,
So-
we have a right to ask any questions we want. They consider themselves as having the right not to have to answer any of those.
Well, as a taxpayer, especially as a taxpayer,
Of course. Like down in the States, I hadn't heard, flock cameras, for example, until like 10 minutes ago, almost literally. And people are cutting the damn things down. It's like, wait a minute, that's our tax dollars to put these things up. This is the zeitgeist they're talking about. They're putting these cameras up to surveil us, and you're already not fighting crime. There's 1% of people are. It's not the 1% at the top that are making our lives miserable. It's the 1% at the bottom that are making everybody's life miserable. Right? And the 1%.
It's the people that have nothing to lose.
The 1% at the bottom.
The people that have nothing to lose are going to be torching and blowing up cars, like we're seeing in Europe, all over Europe.
Yeah, that's right.
They got nothing to lose. Who gives a
Totally.
shit? Moroccan guy stabs 4 people on a train. Another guy with a hammer. Another guy with. They don't give a fuck. Who gives a shit? Right? I got nothing to lose. I go to jail. I get 3 squares a day.
But this is all they've got, Mike. It's like, oh, we're watching you, so don't get any funny ideas. Well, if 100,000, say young guys just decided to openly form a movement, right? What are they going to do?
Like Ben said. Ben was
see
saying
you.
that.
We're watching you. Yeah, we know we're watching you. We're watching you too. That's why we're doing this, pal. Come and get us, I guess. See what happens. We're approaching that Ceausescu moment where they're going to give an order or pass a law that's just one too far.
Yeah.
And no one's going to obey it. They're going to go, okay, that's enough. I've had enough. Fuck this. Pardon the vernacular. They're on the street, or they're at City Hall, or they're at the local DMV or provincial office or whatever. And it's like, what the absolute fill in the blank is going on? What the hell are you doing to me? You don't do this forever. No. I mean, they're doubling down because they don't have an alternative. They don't have a reverse gear. They're true believers.
Oh, they're doubling and tripling down on us, tripling down on making our lives even more furtherly miserable.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course.
They have
these
no
people
choice
are
now.
Miserable. These people are miserable. They don't understand anything like beauty or truth, a symmetry to life. They want to disrupt absolutely everything because they get off on it. This is what makes them happy, is seeing us upset. Because they're miserable people.
Yeah, they are miserable.
They need prayer. Some of them need prayer, and the rest just need the gallows, frankly.
Yeah.
And
or need to go to hell.
But why is that? Yeah. Well, why is that? Well, the ones that have souls, anyway. Yeah. But like I say, the bottom 1% are creating the problem. But I mean, they're flooding so many people in here; it's becoming the bottom 10%, and then life becomes unlivable. Well, okay. Well, we'll own everything. Yeah. Well, everything you own is covered in graffiti and literal human shit. And burned out husks, and everybody hating you.
I got
they want us dead. Yeah, well, we want them dead too. So that's kind of a draw, isn't it? Because we're all still alive right now.
I got someone messaged me here, emailed me, says, "Hey, Mike, I think you're right about 41% of people on Earth possessing a soul, because there's people." He says there are people that I at work or on public transit that I see on a daily basis, and I realize that they are NPC robots going through their motions in life. And if I approach or get close to them, I notice no activity, no soul vibes coming from them. But my wife, my kids, other people at work, or other people in different establishments or different correspondence I make, I could feel people's soul. I know they're real. And then there's those people, Mike, that I'm noticing that are just there to be there and not really contribute to society, but are there to be in society, to become an interference in our lives.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah. Well, a lot of that is the programming. I think there's always been NPCs, but they used to get a more wholesome programming.
Yeah.
Not all ended more or less in the mid 60s, I think, is when all of the, quote unquote, cultural revolutions.
Roe versus Wade.
Roe versus Wade, yeah. The sexual revolution, which was a color revolution. I maintain that it was a color revolution because it was definitely a transfer of power. You had the race wars, which the government started. in China, of course, that was a bloody mess, the Cultural Revolution they had. But the reason Mao instigated that was because a lot of the apparatchiks were getting too comfortable, and they were frankly getting too corrupt. And he was still a true revolutionary, so he set the Red Guards against them mainly. Which doesn't mean he was a good guy, but I mean, he definitely stopped China from becoming something potentially worse than it was. And we talk about Chinese style surveillance here. Well, the thing is, China has law and order and we don't. So there's going to be a reaction against the surveillance anyway, because, it's to prevent crime. Yeah, well, we're not buying that anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
so China just went on record saying 2 days ago that any foreign interference in any elections is fabricated. China does not get involved in foreign countries' elections.
Well, they want to make money.
Woo!
They're not warlike. They want to make money.
Yeah.
They wanna do business to
everything
make
is
money,
being
and obviously
manipulated. They're manipulating everything, Supreme. It's really.
Of course they are. Yeah, and our over here in the Anglo world, I mean, they see China as a rival now because they couldn't control it.
No. Hold on. No. I'm gonna have to take that one back, and you're gonna argue this with me, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
Did you see the headline 3 days ago? I made a video about it. How Canadians, a majority of Canadians now trust China with Xi Jinping over U.S. Donald Trump.
Yeah, I've seen that. I saw it on Twitter too. I don't buy that.
Woo!
I don't buy it. That's old libtard boomers. You take a poll in downtown Toronto. What are they going to say? Oh my God, anything's better than Donald Trump. What about Adolf Hitler? Well, I'll have to flip a coin on that, but shut up, racist. Whatever. Let's just stop the conversation. You know what? They think anybody's better than Donald Trump because they're retards.
Yeah.
Donald Trump isn't even Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
That's an image. It's an image he built up. It doesn't mean that he's a monster or anything like that either. I don't think. He's just a venal, 80-year-old boomer real estate guy. He was a Democrat. When you talk conservative now, you're talking about a, mid-90s Clinton Democrat. It doesn't mean somebody like, the John Birch Society or I was going to say Diefenbaker, but I don't even think he was that conservative really here in Canada. But so many Canadians are clueless about where their bread's buttered anyway. I would like to see Canada be a lot more nationalistic, but not if it's that. I want to, let's go back to John A. and reinvent this place from first principles and make it more what it used to be, because at least then it still had some, potential.
So we got someone on Facebook sent me a message saying, "No worries, they're bringing in the robots and AI. Economy will fix itself."
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, of course it will. Yeah, it's gonna put us all out of work. I don't know, man. I don't see it. Maybe after the crash, right? Because AI is a tremendous. See, I sent you that page on or that article on Instagram the other day.
I saw that.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Every time they talk about AI is this huge data center build out and all this stuff going on, and then China releases something that's just as good for 1/10 the price.
Yeah.
Like at the very beginning, after Trump was inaugurated, he had the Altman and Musk and all these guy from NVIDIA or whatever, and we're going to spend $500 billion to make the best AI in the world, and we're going to be the world leader because of course America always has to be number one. Right. But and then DeepSeek came out like 48 hours later, and okay, well, scratch that. It's 90% as good and it's 10% the cost. Like it ain't happening.
Someone's asking why Fauci's not arrested.
Man. Fauci, well, you got a justice system that guys like Fauci, they're made men. Like they don't really. I mean, they could potentially be arrested. There's enough to get them. The problem is that you're going to wind up with mass casualty events. Right. It's like the Epstein thing, right? Like everyone's calling Trump all these names but you got to look at the dog that's not barking, right? If they hate Trump so much, how come Democrats aren't pounding on Epstein and his connections to Epstein 24/7? We know why. Because they're up to their knees in it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Elbows
Absolutely.
up, elbows
And
up.
Trump is mentioned in there. Trump has been a public figure in America for 40 years.
Yep.
And he's a billionaire, and he's been running with people like this the whole time. Whether he's doing the same things as they are or not, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Right? He's going to be in those files because he's a noted public figure. I mean, there's
Mhm.
actors and philosophers and university professors and all kinds of people that were implicated in this nonsense, and not just on that little island either. Right? There's the Zorro Ranch in New Mexico, and Nexium in New York City, and like the U.S. is full of perverts. It always has been.
Mhm.
And it's not just an elite thing, man. I mean, look at the number of cute little U.S. high school teachers get busted banging their students every year. Like the place is not a democracy; it's a pornocracy.
It's a pornocracy.
Of course,
Yes!
people are a mess.
That's a
Everyone
good way
is-
of coining terms on Mike in the Night.
I wish I'd invented that. I saw that about 10 years ago on Twitter, but no, it's basically what it is. I mean, it's all ruled by, people's basest instincts and peccadillos and whatever MK Ultra media has managed to program into the mass population. Everyone's a freak now, right? It's just depressing. But at the end of the day, the reason those files such as they are, whatever's in them, the reason they're trying to knock them off the front page is necessarily because they're afraid of what's in them. It's because of what's going to happen to potentially hundreds of thousands of millions of people in America if they step on that third rail a little too hard. The amount of fentanyl in the United States. Imagine somebody taking a 50-gallon pail of this stuff and 50-gallon tote and dropping it in a municipal water supply.
Oh, it would wipe out the whole quarter of the
course
country
it
overnight.
would. They could kill millions of people, and they absolutely would do it. That's why this stuff doesn't get out. I'm not saying that to say Trump's innocent, because you know what? I ain't arguing about Trump. That's liberal boomer stuff.
Mhm.
Oh my God, Trump is terrible.
It's Chinese, old people, homeless, and liberal.
Yeah, well, definitely, yeah, of course.
But
of course, it's a mess. But that's why I say we have a competing elite, because it's self-styled never Trump conservatives that are going on and on about the Epstein thing. Nobody in the Democrat Party is doing it because they know damn well what will happen. Right? A lot of people are going to start turning up dead. Like there are people behind the scenes, guys like Bezos and Musk and that. They're just it's one of those things that there's bigger bank accounts behind them.
Right.
This dude is still stuck in the fake left-right paradigm. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, I'm not. At the top, it's a uniparty. I get it. But it still comes down to there's the people that see how civilization is supposed to run, and the people that want to overturn everything and think they could still have all the benefits of the civilization.
Right.
And they've infested every political party everywhere. Right. I mean, the left and the right thing. I mean, that came from the French Revolution anyway. So I see what you're getting at. I don't blame you for thinking that, but let's face it. There's a lot of people on, would be considered the right side that aren't. They just aren't. Like I say, they're Clinton Democrats.
What was the original question that got you rolling?
Oh, I don't remember now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Boomers love Trump because they're low IQ and not willing to adapt to new information. Well, you know what? That's not wrong, James. You got the CBS boomers and then you got the Fox News boomers, right? And they think that they're actually opponents. So that's the thing, this fake left-right paradigm. You're not wrong about that,
So
but
someone's saying here,
it comes down to, directing the narrative so everybody's going, at least in terms of policy, going in the same direction.
Someone's saying here, say what you want about the USA. Canada has been taken over completely by evil and the evil and the devil. F Canada. Oh no, we've been warning people about this whole thing, this whole takeover of Canada for years. I've been saying for over 10 years, America, wake up. Canada is your biggest security threat, not Iraq. Because the wildfire, everything that's going on here, the fentanyl, everything coming in through Canada, coming from China through Canada.
Yeah.
It's huge.
We're just basically a funnel sitting on top of America to send all kinds of stuff in there. But you know what? America, at least since the early 60s, has been subverting the Canadian government too. I mean, the Canada that exists today, people in 1965 would have been horrified.
Yeah.
They would have said, "There's no way in hell we're doing this. We'd never have signed a free trade agreement if we understood what was going on." You know, or any of the other ways that we've gradually transferred our sovereignty elsewhere. Yeah, no, when I say these things, please don't think I'm dunking on America. I know most Americans are decent people. I know that. You know, and
100%.
The U.S. Constitution, as much as I am still an empire loyalist in a lot of ways temperamentally, the U.S. Constitution in the end was a beautiful document, and I hope that you guys actually
Constitution is what's keeping Canada in the
I hope you follow it someday, because
if that Constitution goes dark,
on
if America loses its Constitution, Canada goes dark. I've been saying this for over 15 years. Other content creators have taken my little spiel on this, but America's Constitution is the light, is the last thing left for the people by the people, and the founding fathers put that in place because they knew the tyranny that was going to come after. They knew. That's why you own your home free and clear. You have a gun to protect your property. You have They put everything in in very simple order to follow, and they have the Bill of Rights. They have a lot of things in line for the people by the people, right?
Yes.
And
that's right.
Canada's vague. It's very vague in Canada.
It is, but part of the reason it's vague is because, you know, I think there was an understanding in English common law and Anglo tradition that if you have rules that are written down, you know, then people will look for loopholes.
Yeah.
But if you're operating on principles, because we were part of Christendom, right? So it was a Christian culture, and the right for a householder to keep and bear arms has been part of that Anglo culture the whole time too. Like, people think that Canadians are disarmed, and it's not true. We're the fifth. You know, we're number 5 in the world for civilian ownership of firearms. There's 12 million privately owned firearms in Canada.
Right.
It's one for every 3 people. Like, we're not weak, and we're not disarmed. We're not any of those things.
Yeah.
It's just that I mean, look at America right now. Look at most of the what we'd call the Western world. Look at Europe. You know, the number of 65-year-olds is greater than the number of 16-year-olds.
Yep.
And in the top, they hold all the wealth, and the children are poor, and they're fine with it. You know, like I say, it's an end of history mentality. Now, these were people when they were in elementary school, or being scared to death by being, suddenly diving under their desk at various times to train for a nuclear blast,
nuclear attack. Yeah.
You can't blame them for being a little bit psyop by all this stuff. But they're not open to new information. They still think it's 1995 in America and in Canada, certainly. Like, they don't understand. You know, you talk to someone over a certain age, and they don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, why don't you just get a goddamn job and get married? And it's like, dude, like, you really don't know what's going on, do you? Well, that's why kids are lazy. That's why we have all these new people here, and they're even more Canadian or American than you are. They're willing to work and pull up their bootstraps and all this, all this cliched nonsense, right? I know they're not all like that.
Yeah.
But it still comes down to, you've got people that are just way too comfortable for too long.
Way too.
And life has not punished them the way that it did previous generations for believing stupid things.
Yeah.
And we got 2-3 generations of this now, but the rest of the world has already kind of been into the toilet and managed to climb their way out and have some power and some wealth of their own now. And so, no, they don't control everything the same way. They don't control everything the same way they did. They want a digital control grid over the whole planet. Well, you're not getting it. It's not happening.
Digital prison.
You have major powers that have already disconnected themselves, effectively from the American system. So yes, they could impose tyranny here, certainly. And that doesn't necessarily mean I'd want to live in China and Russia either. But there's lots of videos on YouTube from people going all over these countries and even living in them. They're not having a problem. And you're comparing Anglo culture to Chinese culture. They don't have any history of democracy there whatsoever.
Nope.
Like, it literally doesn't appear to them as a concept.
Nope.
And here, I mean, we had really, at least in the imperial days, you had governor generals and you had a monarch, and you had a counterbalance with you know, with a House of Commons and a House of Lords or Senate, you know, in the colonies anyway, with the idea being, you know, like you didn't want tyranny, you wanted to preserve that culture. They're not so concerned about it, especially since the end of the Cold War, you know, the so-called end of history, right? That's when the elites launched their own quiet revolution, because there was no more noblesse oblige. They don't have to care about us anymore. You know, like it's Russia's run by the global.
Yeah, I was going to
cults,
say that Russia is better than Canada today. That's what Dino Bravo's
in a
saying.
lot of ways it probably is. You know why? Because Russia now is probably like we were around 1990. You know, like it's getting there. Like people own cars. They have flush toilets. They build automobiles. They build their own heavy trucks. They're in the process of perfecting the jet engines to build their own domestic jet aircraft, all because of sanctions. Right? The problem that we're going to have soon is because we outsourced all of those things to other countries. You know, if they get to a point where they can impose sanctions on us, we're definitely screwed. We're going to be in the same position now as Iran was in like 1980. We're going to have to reinvent everything from scratch. And a lot of people are going to be poor and starving until we solve it.
Yeah.
You know, like to me, it's just, okay, well, let's assume that that's coming and get on with it. But you got corporations that think every 90 days ahead. And you got politicians that think every 2 to 4 years ahead. And they've got to get elected. That's their job. And you can't get elected by promising less. Yeah, and that's all up against the global, you know, green cult that doesn't want any development whatsoever, right? Because, you know, my planet. I mean, there are the cynical ones that started all this nonsense, but then there are also lots of very well-heeled people and lots of comfortable older people that this has worked for very well for them their entire lives, and they absolutely believe this stuff.
Yeah,
they're not open to new information either. You know, like, wouldn't you think the planet not burning up would be good news? Don't you think people would be happy if they could do that? I think that in a sense, this is what Carney's trying to do right now.
Yeah.
I think they've realized they've taken these people too far the other way. And now they need to pivot because there's been all of this sudden shift in global finance and certainly in military power. And we have to get back on some kind of recognizable track now. And now they're going to have to slowly break it to these people over the next year or so that, we were just kidding the whole time. We need to do this now.
Yeah, they're going to kind of pivot and kind of go the other way.
Yeah, so that's the thing. This 1984 stuff, you know, like, it doesn't apply to us. It applies to people in many cases who are, you know, they got 10 years left to live. I mean, they're totally in it. I mean, they're totally immersed in it. But everybody on the outside, no. Anyone out here dealing with reality as it is right now, no, we're not fooled by any of this nonsense. Well, that number's increasing every day, isn't it?
Yep.
You can't have poverty increasing in Canada among people who used to be middle class, and some of them at least some point in time going, I mean, they're either going to go full-blown tanky, like, you know, Stalin is communist, or they're going to go, how come I can't have my own business like my dad and my granddad did?
Yeah.
How come I can't go work at a sawmill? How come
I can't get a job, a fast food job, because they're not hiring white people because they're subsidizing wages?
That's right. Well, why aren't they hiring white people? Well, that's not fair. That's discrimination. These people are the real racists. Well, these are arguments from 20 years ago too. They've got some catching up to do. But poverty, you know, hunger and danger have a way of sharpening the mind, don't they? Yeah. So that's why I'm always kind of saying, you know, you just want to be on the high ground when this comes.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know, so that you might get your feet wet, but you're not going to drown. You can stay the hell out of the way. Oh, housing will fall for another 18 months before bottom. Yeah, I believe that.
It depends how fast it falls in the last 18 months. Housing is way out of reach. Yeah. Housing should be 4 times the annual income. We're still 16, 24, 38 times the annual. Well, Mike, if you make $100,000 a year, that's 10 years. You could pay off $1 million. No. You're being taxed to death on that $100,000. They're not seeing that. And the fuel and car insurance and everything. It's what's left after you pay your bills. That's your disposable income.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if you work, I mean, 40 years ago, if you worked 3 jobs, it was to pay your way through school, right? Or something like that. And the reason that you did that was so that you could get out and start debt free. But you knew that as soon as you got your diploma and got a job in a corporation or in a machine plant or whatever, you wouldn't have to work 3 jobs anymore. The problem is that now people are working 3 jobs just to pay the rent and eat.
Yeah, to live a basic lifestyle.
Yeah, not even that. I mean,
basic,
they just
very
don't have
basic,
it.
minimalistic.
But the old
lifestyle.
folks say, what's wrong with my kids? How come they didn't do as well as I did? They must be, how did I raise such lazy children? It's like, well, they're not lazy. You really didn't work that hard either. I mean, they're not going to hear that. You're not going to tell them that. That's bad news. But condo bailout to keep Agenda 2030 alive. It's not about the money anymore. It's to keep themselves.
We covered that. We covered the condo bailouts. Your tax dollars are going to be now covering or paying. And you know what? 97 or 96. I can't remember if it's 94 or 96%. I'm sorry about the number, but it was around 90 something percent of these condo bailouts are Chinese investors.
Yes. Yeah, that's part of it. I just saw an interview, like Sam Cooper. He's been talking about the thing you've been talking about, the Vancouver model. But he's got, details and stuff like that, financial institutions. And yes, this housing collapse, this housing correction's going on right now. Yeah, there's a lot of banks that are going to be in serious trouble.
We're still too early. We're talking about it. If wages and incomes need to be in line with the cost of living and food and the whole 9 yards, we still need in housing. We need a 70 maybe 71% correction still from where we're at.
I agree.
I have to. You need to go back to those $50,000 1-bedroom condos, $70,000 2-bedroom condos, detached homes starting at $175. Well, Mike, those are 1980s prices. No, it's look how much we're paying in tax and look how much it costs just to put fuel in your car. You got to offset that. You just can't put everything into real estate. So if real estate needs to tie into where we need to be at right now, it needs to go down another 71%.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're definitely seeing a decline, but the way declines usually work is like any other kind of collapse, where 90% of the action happens in the last 10% of the time. I don't know what it's going to be, another spike in interest rates, a recession, official declaration of a recession or something from overseas, Like I've said, for years now. I mean, if the Chinese decided that they were going to enforce capital controls, there's a lot of money in real estate over here that's just those properties are just going to get dumped on the market. Like the housing supply, quote unquote housing supply as it is, doubles and triples overnight, and they take any money they can get so they can get their money back out of the country. Well, that's it. And the banks will go down for sure. And then we'll have our own 2008 moment here while we watch them write huge checks. The problem is we don't issue the world's reserve currency. We probably can't bail out our banks.
Nope, we can't.
They're going to be zombie. Entities. I mean, the world economy has been kind of zombified since 2008, at least over here.
I call it Japanification.
Japanification is valid. It's just over here it was kind of the inverse of that, right? Like the stock markets have gone up ever since 2008, 2009, but the businesses, the underlying businesses are mostly dead. Like it's froth. It's a zombie economy at that point. And the people are being flooded in here. Yeah, you can talk, color G plan and stuff like that, but a lot of it is they need people to soak up all that extra money to keep wages under control. But it still gets to the point that if these people aren't productive, well, someone still has to work to pay the taxes to pay for it all.
That's right.
They're going to have to make some concessions, and they don't want to do that because they hate us. So, it's just going to reach it's just going to get more and more absurd and ridiculous, and it's hard times for everyone right now. Smitty, 7 million single family homes are owned outright by a senior citizen. Like they're owned free and clear. The government isn't going to seize those. Now, if those people pass on and they don't have children, well, maybe the bank will take control of it, or it'll be auctioned off or whatever. But they're going to have to. They're just trying to buy time. They want to do a condo bailout. Even floating the idea got a lot of angry responses.
And they're not even Canadian builders too. It's Chinese projects, a lot of Chinese projects, because they want to obviously build the condos. Chinese bring the money over, park it in the real estate, and just leave it empty.
Yes.
They don't even give a shit if people live in them. They just want to build them to get their money parked over here.
Well, yeah, they're just safety deposit boxes outside of China, basically.
Yeah.
But now that's going the other way, and a lot of them are probably looking at it and going, well, if this goes down another 200 grand, you know, I'm either just going to stop paying the mortgage and call it a wash because they're not coming over to Shanghai to get me, or they're going to dump them on the market for whatever they get. And I still think that's going to happen. I think we're going to reach a point in time where, yeah, they're going to have to do that. Plus, how many of those people, you know, got that money from borrowing yen at 0.5% and, you know, parking it in real estate, making 20% a year. You know, now that the Japanese yen is starting to spike, the interest rates are starting to spike. Like, this is going to unwind a lot of stuff. It's it's funky.
Yeah,
it's funky, man. I'm shocked it's taken as long as it has.
Yeah, because we were forecasting 2020, 2021 at the latest.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
We're 2026. We're going into 2027 in less than 25 weeks.
Well, 2019. I mean, it was all rolling over. Right. You had the repo thing, and I mean, you know, big box stores were closing everywhere. Yeah, like we were in it. We were in a retail apocalypse in 2019, 7 years ago, Mike. It's hard to believe how long it's been, hey?
Yeah, we are here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, that's why I say they tried 2020. They attempted to implement year zero. They just went for it. They're off schedule. I mean, everything that they're doing, you know, like everyone's already awake. They're not going to let them do it, but this is the plan. So we're going to work the plan. So I think somewhere along the line, that schedule that was put in place a century ago, whenever it was, something has happened, and these people are operating on a completely different timeline because they're not living in our reality. That's for sure. I just think that they've got some plan and they're sticking to the plan, even though something has derailed the plan, and now they're running in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Like, it's just more and more disconnection as time goes by, and they're desperately trying to redress the balance. How is it possible this war in Ukraine has lasted 4.5 years?
Oh, it was all bouncing back money. It's a springboard for money laundering. The day the war kicked off, the video's up right there from 5 years ago. The video's up. Don't take sides. This is money laundering. Watch out. And everyone said I was fat and retarded when I said that.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, of course. A lot of that was just trolls.
Oh, you're anti-Ukraine.
You know?
Everyone was putting Ukraine flags on their social media. Pro-Ukraine, Russia bad. I'm like, no. This is all money laundering, people. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Don't take sides.
Money laundering and depopulation. You know, proxy wars.
Yeah.
Proxy wars. Yeah. Yeah. In Ukraine, I mean, that was the most powerful proxy army that NATO ever had. It was probably more powerful than NATO's army. If Ukraine had decided we're not attacking Russia, we're going to attack Poland instead, they would have easily overrun the place.
Yep.
Yeah. White Christian genocide, ethnic cleansing. Absolutely. Look at ISIS. Look at the places that the U.S. has been bombing and Israel's been bombing. Yeah, there's hundreds of thousands of Christians were killed in the Syrian civil war and and ISIS in northern Iraq, places like that. Yeah, ancient Christian communities, some of the oldest in the world. Were wiped out or scattered, or the women were sold into slavery or whatever else. Yeah, no, we're right back to like 1492, man.
Yeah,
in some ways, I mean, we're right back to that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where we're headed.
Yeah. Azov all but wiped out. They were the first to be sent to the grinder. Yeah. I think they used them as second line, like barrier troops, to keep the conscripts in the front line. But I mean, they were the quote unquote elites. So yeah, they started using those for the fire brigades, kind of like the Waffen SS. Anywhere it looked like the Russians would break through, they'd send them in there, and then Russian artillery would proceed to slaughter them. And they just keep going. Like Europe is so desperate now, they're trying to withdraw refugee status from all military age Ukrainian men that fled there, and so they can get sent back to try to keep this thing going a little longer. Like, they're just depopulating the place.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, it's not going to work because once if they collapse, then Russia's going to take the pieces they want. And
of course, they're going to take the good parts.
They're not going to flood that part with whoever they want to send there. They're talking about sending hundreds of thousands of Indians there too.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what's that going to do? Well, they want slave labor to pick the crops and do whatever else. And it's,
Yeah.
well,
I
I'm
could
not
see
saying they
that.
won't get their way. They need to get something out of their investment there. But if they don't, well, goodbye City of London, goodbye Brussels,
Yep. Paris.
Paris. Yeah, well, Paris is already.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
already fallen. It's burning.
I see plenty of. That's the thing. You talk about China and Russia and Iran and these other places where there are literally commentators on the ground saying these people are nice and it's actually not bad here. And then you've got people that waited their whole life to go to Europe and they're walking through the streets of Paris and there's migrants everywhere and garbage and the whole place smells like piss.
Yeah, that's that Japanese tourist we covered last week walking the
Yeah,
streets.
yeah. No, think about that for a minute.
Piss.
Like we live in something just as bad as what those people have. Right. The difference is that Paris is getting bombed right now. That's about the only difference. Like there was enough prosperity to go around after all. What do you know? Because what is wealth created? I mean, poverty is the default state of all humanity. How is wealth created? Well, the people that know how to do it have done it. Like Iran, they keep saying they're these backwards, fanatical camel jockeys. But I mean, Iran had the 5th largest steel industry in the world, and they make 1 million cars a year there.
Yeah.
It was a developed economy in spite of the sanctions, right?
Yeah.
And people just aren't buying this stuff anymore.
Speaking
and you know
of
what?
buying
Even if
Supreme-
it was like that, why would I care? My own country's sliding into rack and run. I don't care about Iran. We have oil here.
Speaking of buying, did you pick up any oil this week? Because I think they're gonna double down on this war, like triple down, because they're starting to hit other they're starting to hit outside areas. They're really making this a full scale, full front. This is a big deal. So I looked at my oil, oil stocks.
I think they're desperate. Yeah.
I looked
Did you
at
buy
them.
more oil?
Oh, I sold them when they went up, and they declared the war coming to an end. I sold all my stock,
Right.
all my oil stock, and then I waited 2 weeks, and now it's all ticking back up. So I bought back all the same shares that I told you at the Basca, Baytex.
Good deal,
and
yeah.
I
Good
bought them all
deal,
back
yeah.
again, and
Yeah.
they dropped.
No, I own some Chevron because they're kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
And yeah, I bought some Baytex. I didn't have the money to do much else.
Okay.
There was some little explorer called Prospera. They actually recondition old wells in southern Alberta and Saskatchewan. That was like a 4-cent stock. So, put a couple $100 into that, whatever.
What was the ticker?
It was Prospera Energy.
Oh, I think I know these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy's name it's something Karg. He looks Pakistani, but he doesn't talk Pakistani. I think he grew up in Calgary. But anyway, him and a consortium are going around for these old wells, reconditioning them and getting them back online. They won't produce much, but I mean, free oil is free oil, right?
Yep.
He was on Jay Taylor. If you've never heard of Jay Taylor, he's a stock guy, mostly mining and things like that. But I was following him since about 2007, 2008.
Oh wow!
And I saw this kid on there. So I looked into it. I was like, okay, well, whatever, a couple $100.
Yeah.
So I've got a Junior Explorer. I've got Baytex, which is Canadian, and I've got Chevron because they're global.
Yeah.
That's all I had. I didn't have the money to make. That's not life-changing investments either way for me.
Yeah,
oil is the point is whether oil goes up or down. It's not going anywhere. Like the price of oil is managed, but the price especially with all these refineries getting hit.
Yeah, there's a lot of them getting hit. But we just reported 23 of them getting hit this morning. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, they keep hitting. I mean, most of what they're hitting in Russia is tank farms, which is a disruption. But as long as the actual reactor vessels themselves are intact, these things cover square kilometers, man. Like they're huge things. So they make a lot of smoke and they make pretty pictures. But beyond that, it takes a certain amount of production offline. But it's not the price of oil itself. They could still manage that on the futures market, right? So they can make the price go down even if every tanker in the world sank tomorrow. But the truth is the price of diesel, gasoline, distillates, the real world market, that's going to tell the story. And the story we're telling is, there's definitely an oil shortage or the expectation of one. Yeah. That's how I see it anyway.
I'm hearing you, but I'm hearing you.
Yeah. I mean, you deal with this on a daily basis. I don't, but that's how it looks to me. Yeah. You're hitting Yeah, and if the Houthis if they close the Bab el Mandeb Strait again,
yeah.
then yeah, we're in trouble. No, I think the reason they went ahead with this war is because they're desperate.
Yep. They're running out of options. They're really running out of boogeymen. They're really running out of distractions. They're really running out of everything, Supreme. So they don't know what to do. They don't know what they
know what to do.
They don't know where they're at. They don't know if they're tricking or treating. Like we've been saying. How many times have you heard me say these guys don't know if they're tricking or treating? They don't know where they are.
Yes. Yeah. The bigger problem in America is the political deadlock there is so profound that in the end, it's easier to start a war and try to get your stuff from someone else than to try to actually fix anything in the country. Like I say, the politician's job is to get elected.
Yeah.
And because it is a duopoly there, it's a deadlock. Right? There's no deciding vote. Like no one wins that arm wrestle. Right? Okay, well they look the other way at corruption in this district because it's going to affect the economy in my district. Right? So I'm sure 25% of US GDP is just outright fraud and theft.
The majority of U.S. exports is inflation. U.S. biggest export is inflation. They export money. They print money and they just pay for stuff that they don't have the money for. They just print it off. And inflation is one of America's biggest exports.
Yes. Yeah, it is. And people are tired of that too. In the end, especially after 2022, that's why central banks have been buying gold hand over fist. Right? Because they need to protect themselves. And at some point in time, we could say, oh, well, the U.S. or whoever's going to revalue gold. Well, the market's revaluing gold. Like I owned gold and silver and stuff like that for almost 2 decades. And, I'm seeing it even after a big crash at price levels that I would have thought I was daydreaming.
Yep.
So it's happening. Like you can't argue with molecules in physics.
That's right.
Right. You can paper over it for just so long. But Tignum, hello, dear. Can you ever see the stock exchange collapsing? Yes. Yeah, it absolutely could. We've had in the U.S., for example, you've had a plunge protection team since 1987.
Yeah,
well, 2008 caught them completely off guard.
They got these dead man switches that light up or shut things down if they have to.
Yeah, they had, and in 2000 for that matter. It's just that when you get rid of the little crashes, because as profound as 87 was, it was over pretty quickly. Right. And that's the thing. Things like that usually end pretty quickly. But 2000, they realized that they didn't intervene enough. So interest rates started dropping. And then 2008 happened because of all these other things that were going on behind the scene. And the more funny money you pump into the economy, the more creative ways people find to, get some of it for themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. And in the end, when interest rates went to zero, that was right at the same time that Bitcoin became a thing.
Yep.
So I think at least part of the function of it was a liquidity sponge. I don't believe the government wasn't involved in it, but the government was involved in the creation of the internet, and they certainly have been trying to control that without success. So they do have a talent for creating monsters that get away on them too. Let's not assume that they know everything they're doing.
Right.
I'm inclined to think a lot of them have no idea what they're doing.
Again, they don't know if they're tricking or treating.
No, I don't think they do.
I'm not kidding. I know it sounds bizarre that when I keep saying that. I don't even think they know if they're tricking or treating, Supreme. I really don't think they even know where they're at, honestly.
I'm inclined to think so. Yeah. Past a certain point in time, it's out of control. If central banks, if fiat currency really dominates everything, well then, why do they all hold gold?
Yep.
The United States refuses to
banks
let
have been buying
anybody
gold in record pace in the last 8-9 years now, right?
Actually, they have, yeah.
And the Chinese have been selling U.S. treasuries to buy gold too. They're selling U.S. treasuries slowly, and Russia's been selling U.S. treasuries slowly, turn to buy gold.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and you've had countries like Turkey that when this Iran thing broke out, they had a currency problem. So I mean, it dumped gold because they had to dump a bunch of their gold because it's liquid and they could exchange it for treasuries or whatever else they needed to prop up the lira. Right. So you're going to see things like that too, financial crises, and people dump their gold. And I'll see gold's not a safe haven, but you know what? The reason they hold it is because that's exactly what it's for.
Yeah.
Because it's liquid and they could sell it instantly. And, let's face it, any country that hasn't owned gold for the last 10 years has missed out on some great gains.
Right.
So I mean, and yeah, it's just going to go up more, I think. Yes, James Cameron, precious metals will drop when a recession hits as people will liquidate to make payments. Only then will it climb after. Completely agree with you. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened in 2008. Yeah, totally. I mean, gold had bottomed out in 99, 2000. So that would have been a good time to buy during that recession. But, if you held it up till 2011 anyway, you did very well. This is the thing. Everything priced in gold since like 1960 has gone down in price. Like they say, oh, well, the S&P has done better than gold. Well, that's apples and oranges. I mean, if you picked gold at $850 in 1980, yeah, maybe, but that's not apples and oranges. Apples and apples, right? You would have to have bought gold when it was at $35.
Yeah.
Or even after that. I mean, there was a big crash. Then what did it reprice at? Between $200 and $400.
Yeah.
So it never went back to that old level.
No,
and then after its low in 1999, I mean, it went to $1,000. Actually in 2011 it went to almost $2,000. Right, so you would have made out very well doing that. But it's something that you hold for insurance anyway. It's not some people day trade it. I never would do that. I'm not fast. Frankly, I'm too lazy. I don't want to know something that well. I want to know enough that it can help me make decisions for my life. Oh, what do we got here? Russia and Iran, only countries with no Rothschild affiliation. That's why they're deemed the enemy. That's certainly part of it. Yeah. When they basically began to exercise political and financial independence, when they started cracking down on foreign interference in their domestic financial affairs. Yes. Yeah. I mean, Putin was a golden boy for the first year or so, but by 2007, when he gave that speech at the Munich Security Conference, from then on, yeah, he's a horrible dictator and he's the next incarnation of Hitler, and we have to get rid of him. This has been the narrative, and it's pretty pathetic. It's not working the way it used to, but like I say, these people don't have a reverse gear. They have to double down.
They have to.
They don't know anything else. They have to double down. They're true believers. Let's just call it the New World Order. They give it all kinds of names, but no, they're true believers. But that's the thing. They're not learning. They're not learning. Learning should bring changes in behavior. It should bring changes in priority. It should be going, okay, we're in a cul-de-sac now. We need to turn around and find our way back to the highway, see where we went wrong. They can't do that. Yeah. They can't do that. And that's the thing. The good news is, yes, in the end, it will lead to their downfall. The bad news is we're all living in their world until that happens.
It's yeah. Putin refers to them as loan sharks. I'm just looking at the comments here. 100% insurance only.
I'm going.
Either I make $200,000 or I go bust. Yeah, a lot of people are on their last leg. Supreme. Let's see if anyone's bought me a coffee here. Let me see if anyone's. Let me just acknowledge anyone. No, same. Gillis, Susie, John, Tio, and Jennifer. Thanks for your coffees here tonight, guys. Thank you very much. And then what's his name? Kevin J. Johnson sent me a $200 super chat.
Oh, that's awesome. Was he on earlier?
Yeah, he was on earlier. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get on here till after 7. So, it's good. I see. I saw him on X, I think.
You did?
He's got I forget what the account was called. It wasn't Kevin J. Johnston, but he was talking about how people can, get out of Canada and melt down their RSPs without tax consequences. But you know all that, and people can find them.
Yeah. I was gonna say here, if you guys want, I just want to promote my little X account here, guys. So, guys, I have an X account that I opened. I've been very vocal on lately, and I just want to give everyone a link. I want to give everyone a link. Guys, follow me on X because I'm no longer on TikTok because I got banned on there. And I got not charged, but I was sent a digital trespass notice on X.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't want me on X ever. On TikTok ever again. So this is my 4th TikTok account. And Supreme, I got up to like 30,000 with this one. The other one that hurt me the most was the one that's 86,000 they took down. It hurt me so much when they took that down,
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. Rusty Bent Hammer, 6548. The rich bloodlines don't want the slave class owning gold or silver anymore. That is correct. And this is a counterpoint to the idea that China is evil, although I suspect the regime is as evil as any other one. They actually encourage their citizens to own gold and silver, and their citizens are buying it with both hands. In India, they're trying to stop people from buying gold and silver, and that's been a part of their culture for 1,000 years. So of course they're going to find ways to bring it in anyway. It's just here in the Western world where they don't want people owning it.
Yeah.
I know of at least one. I have a relative that invested in advisory, in 2011. They asked them about gold and silver. And they said, "Oh, please don't get involved in that. It doesn't pay a return. It's, just basically it's a pet rock. Don't get involved in that." And I said, yeah, I'd expect them to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it's not something you ask your investment advisor about. It's something you go out and buy with your own money and put in a safe place for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really
I like
the
how you
best
say
way
that
to
it's a pet rock.
It's a pet rock, yeah. Well, you know what? It is a pet rock, isn't it? It just sits there and exists.
Yeah.
Right? But that's the beauty of it, right? It's just pure physics.
Mm-hmm.
You can paint all kinds of pictures and you could tell all kinds of stories and make it look like the worst thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, there's characteristics of how something becomes money. Things like
Mm-hmm.
gold and silver, right? Copper at various times. They have certain characteristics that make them money, and it's acceptable all over the world.
Right.
Every central bank in the world except Canada's owns gold, right?
Yeah. Well, they have to. Well, they have to. They have to find a way to offset a lot of the bad debt that's out there too, right? They have to float it somehow. There's so much bad debt. New Zealand back in 2019 was mandatorily the governments were mandatorily telling the banks, you need to have 30% of reserves because they were below 10% of what they had out.
Yeah.
Very dangerous, super dangerous levels, right? So banks don't have the equity to back anything that they've. A lot of bad debt out there. There's a lot, especially through this real estate fiasco we've been going through the last 15 years.
There is a lot. The problem has always been the regulation, definitely. Paper money, fiat currency, paper money,
Mm-hmm.
is as good as anything else. It actually is. The problem with it is they can print it, and they have political reasons, and occasionally, sometimes in the case of a war, there's a necessity to be able to print it. Right, at least for a period of time. But as long as the supply of money is closely controlled, then you don't get runaway inflation. You don't get things like that, right? But that's the reason why gold and silver always endured, and why the empires that gradually started debasing it, getting away from it, is because it did limit them at a time when they didn't want limits.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why they always wound up doing something else. But look at the United States. They had gold and silver circulating coinage in 1873, and they had a railroad bubble that collapsed, and that was the longest depression in American history. It wasn't the 1930s, right? Because they were able to leverage, bonds and all of these different paper instruments.
Mm-hmm.
To build these railways or get people involved in them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's looking for a way. Everybody wants to be wealthy. Everyone wants to live better.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants a piece of the pie. It is human nature, and it's not evil. There's nothing wrong with that. We've all got people we love and we want to do good things for.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to live better.
Of course.
But
it's the ones that are thieving and stealing from one another that are destroying it for the rest of us.
Yes, and when you look at the financial maneuvers that very rich people engage in, it's like, damn, I never thought of that. That's brilliant,
Hmm.
But that's the thing. People that understand money, because it's literally their only reason for living, um, like, yeah, they'll be okay. They'll be okay unless you have something like the French Revolution. They're going to be fine. But even
Hmm.
those ones, I mean, they've got their ear to the ground. They've got a finger in the wind.
Hmm.
If it's time for them to get out, they get out. Like the prominent Democrats in New York talking about wealth taxes, paying their fair share. Well, as soon as New York City started doing that sort of thing, they just backed up and left. We went to Florida. It's like, no, yeah, I don't really mean it. You're not. I don't mean me.
Hmm.
I mean everybody. A tax bracket above me. They need to pay more.
Yeah.
Because even the rich don't think they're rich enough.
No, they never have enough.
Yeah, it's always somebody with more than you that you want to. They should have to pay their fair share, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of people, let's face it, they're not real bright.
Nope.
Why do we have all this credit card delinquency in the United States?
Oh God.
The average person is the author of their own demise more often than not, because they get wrapped up in this stuff. I mean, I've said it before. I was a realtor 2007, 2008.
Hmm.
And when I saw the way it was going, I got out of there and went copper mining instead. But people I had known for years, they had dollar signs in their eyes.
Yeah.
You couldn't talk to them.
No.
You couldn't talk to them. Everyone thought that this was it. This is the one.
Hmm.
I'm gonna make my bag, And some of them, I think they did okay, but not as well as they hoped. And a lot, yeah, they doubled down and they lost out, man. They lost out, and they had a long way to crawl back from it.
Hmm.
So you have to be careful of these things. Like Low Roller was just talking about gold and silver and how it went up too fast, like crypto did, and that's absolutely right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They went vertical and up till the end of January, and then the circuit breaker blew, and they've gone down quite a bit. But I mean, they haven't crashed back to where they were before. And like I said, with the other repricing events, they're not going to.
Hmm.
I don't think they're going to. I could see silver going back down to $50, but that'll be the floor now, not the roof.
Yeah.
Same as gold. I mean, gold is someone somewhere is going to have to pull the trigger and revalue their currency.
Hmm.
They're going to have to say, okay, this is what it's worth now.
Well, if you put out all the derivatives and IOUs and all the money that's out there, and you were, let's say you were going to back that to some sort of tangent gold or silver or something, I mean, it would be like $30,000-$40,000 to back an ounce of gold right now with the amount of money that's out there.
Yes.
It would be maybe $50,000 to back an ounce of gold.
Yeah,
that's how bad it is. That's how overinflated it is.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. No, it would have to go up a lot to balance the books. And the thing is, that's what happened in 1980. Like the value of gold in America, actually, the price went up high enough that it actually exceeded the value of the money supply. Right. But that's part of the reason why interest rates went up as high as they did. Well, of course, the U.S. they couldn't pay 5% interest rates, let alone 20.
Yeah.
To stabilize the situation. Right. And that's part of the reason. See, this is why I say the politics down there, the author of their own demise. All of this fraud that was exposed by Doge, right, and by that Nick Shirley fella in Minnesota alone, like Minnesota, right?
Yep.
One state of 50. If they crack down on that fraud, it might instill enough confidence in foreign lenders that they might be willing to, buy U.S. Treasuries at 3% a gain.
Yep. Make it worth their while or some sort of gain.
Right? we need to see, we need you to reinstill confidence, but America is just drunk on the last 30 years of we're the only hyperpower in the world. What we say goes. And I mean, they're just being absolutely humiliated in Iran and they're insisting that they're winning. And Russia, well, they're going to collapse any day, and China's going to collapse every day. And it's like, well, I hate to break it to you guys, but I don't think it's happening that way. Maybe you should just clean up what you're doing at home.
Yeah.
And maybe honor some of your agreements, but they can't do it. They just can't do it. I liken America, and I don't know if it's going to be biblically accurate, but I liken them to that mother of harlots in the book of Revelation. All the kings of the earth have fornicated with her, and she's just a drunken old witch now. She's not the beauty she used to be. She's not the shining city on the hill she used to be. For a lot of people, she still is, to be sure. And there are a lot of great Americans and having great lives. It's not everyone. Same as Canada, you know. But you know, it's just the abominations, the blood, you know, just the sheer blood. Demands a response. And it's coming. So I don't worry about the Antichrist, because the beast system doesn't arise until the Babylon system collapses. And we're still in the Babylon system.
It's going to be like that for, I don't know. I mean, I just, you know what it is, Supreme, in the end. I just want my kids to be all right. That's all.
Yeah, and that's the goal that we all have, for sure. Yeah.
Like, it's not, I don't want a free life for my kids or a freebie or whatever. I just don't want them to have to suffer because of stupidity of others, you know?
Yeah, but you don't want them to be slaves, right?
No, of course not.
You want,
not even
you want them to be
100%, but I just want them to be free. I want them
to work,
to not have to worry about, you know, worry about a lot of things that I feel that are going to be happening in the future, and it's not fair. It's not worth it.
It's not fair. It's disgusting. Bob KWBDB, if you are in your 20s and are struggling, I respect you and your shit. Don't give up. Get down and funky. Amen, sir. Amen.
Yeah.
I tell my children, and I tell anybody under the age of 30, you have a future. Believe it. And the future will be better than you imagine. Don't extrapolate what you see right now. Yeah. Don't extrapolate what you see right now 20 years out in the future. It's not happening.
No.
They want it, but they're not getting it. They're not going to get it. The math doesn't support it. It's going to be a near-run thing. It's going to be close. But no, I don't think we're going to go extinct. And I don't think we're going to get our digital control grid quite yet. Because they got to sell this stuff to people. Right? Because no one trusts them anymore, and they don't control the narrative anymore. So they can't just, we need the cameras because we're going to fight the terrorists. Right? It's like, no one's buying this crap anymore. They're not doing it.
Yeah.
You know,
some of us are getting old, mate.
Some of us are getting old, mate. Yeah,
we're getting old. We're getting too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Remember?
Woo, yeah.
Remember what's his name? Danny Glover in that movie there. Danny Glover was in that movie there, where he was saying, "I'm getting too old for this shit." And you know what? He was like 43 when he said that in the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
He was 43 when he said that.
Of course, in that movie, he was a detective, and
Lethal Weapon, right? Was it Lethal Weapon?
Lethal Weapon. It was. Yeah. You're definitely signing up for a life of adventure if you aspire to a career like that. To be sure. Yeah. Yeah. What a difference a new day makes. Yeah, Aaron. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Bring into reality the right lifestyle. Yeah. Yeah. Like God will steer the boat, but you got to row. You got stuff to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Robert Keegan there, Lord Humongous saying explosive diarrhea. Make a run for the border, Mikey.
Yeah. Well, there you go. See, this is corporations trying to control their costs, right? To the point that you've got migrant workers because they're cheap, and they don't let them go to they don't have a truck waiting to take them to the washroom, so they just poop in the fields, and now a bunch of people are getting sick. Yeah, that worked great, didn't it? This is what I mean about all of this too. The population replacement. Well, first of all, there's no replacement for us. We're the ones that built the place, and we're descended from the ones who built the place. But the other thing is, there was supposed to be this big robotic revolution and automated equipment and stuff 50 years ago, and they don't have it. They just bring truckloads of people in from over the border every day to pick the lettuce. Like, why isn't it being picked by a machine for like literally the last 40 years?
Thank you, Tig. Have a good night.
God bless, Tig.
Supreme,
take care of yourself.
I'm falling asleep here.
It's 9 o'clock. Yeah. Well, this was fun. Thank you. But that's enough for me for a couple of weeks anyway. You people have suffered.
You can come back in 2-3 weeks. Yeah, and you could. I'll keep you updated to see if we do a Mike in the Night-a-thon. See if we could raise $100.
Yeah, totally. Let's see if we can. Let's do that. Let's have a telethon. Variety Club telethon.
I'll figure it out. And have a pile of guests lined up to take over. I could take a break here and there in between, so I don't have to sit here for 6-7 hours, right? And See if we can
we'll make it a marathon for sure. Yeah,
raise a
just
whole
do it
$100,
once.
But
we'll start earlier so that you're not, so you can go till 9 o'clock regular time, and put your kids to bed, have a normal life.
Mhm.
We're all aspiring for as normal a life, at least the way we remember it.
Right.
And a lot of it is, think of it being on a plane that has depressurization, right? You're the one who needs to put the oxygen mask on first, and that's what you're doing.
Right.
You're making sure that you put the oxygen mask on for yourself first, and then
Mhm.
you can tend to the people around you. Right? The flood is coming. Make sure that you got high ground.
Mhm.
Right? Make sure that you can step off to the side.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't be one of the people forced into the streets and burning cars.
Yeah. You're right.
That's all. That's all you have to do. You don't have to, if you've got a bunker or 10 acres out of town, God bless your heart, and I hope, that it works out for you. But
Yeah.
for everybody else, we're just we're trying to do what we do to be as anti-fragile and hard to kill as possible until the tsunami passes over. I think I've tortured enough metaphors in 30 seconds, but you see it happening, and there's definitely a conflict between the powers that be and the aspiring powers that be.
Right.
And we're not winning. And that's not the worst news. At least the bombs aren't falling here yet.
Yeah.
We got migrant problems. We got financial problems. We don't have downtown Beirut or Tehran problems.
No, yet. Yet.
Praise the Lord. Yeah, it doesn't come to that, but don't rule it out.
All right, Supremo.
Okay, buddy.
You have a good
God
one.
bless everyone. Great to interact.
Yeah, thanks for being here tonight, bud. We'll see you soon, okay?
Always a pleasure.
God bless you.
Take care. Talk
Bye-bye.
soon. Bye.
All right, guys. It is wrap-up time for Mike of the Night. Thanks for the coffees tonight, guys. Thanks for everything. We'll get No Way Jose. We'll get you on next week, and we'll get on. I don't know who's going to come on next week, but I'll figure it out through the week, and we'll get you all on next week on Mike of the Night. We should do a like an interval call-in show. Everyone's got 6 minutes. I'm like, come in. Hey, Mike, this is that. This is my perspective. This, that, on the war, on Iran, blah, 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 blah. Everyone, we could do a 6-minute show. We'll call it the 6-minute Mike in the Net show, where you come on, you have a maximum of 6 minutes. You could come on and say 3 things and leave. That's it. But you got a maximum. We could do a 6-minute show where we could get 10 people on an hour, and we could get points of views. And I think we should do that. I think we should do a 6-minute Mike of the Night, where everyone comes in for 6 minutes. Everybody on the chat calls in. Everybody calls into the show. Everyone gives up to 6 minutes. I'll have a timer on. Everyone's got 6 minutes maximum. 30 seconds if you want, a minute, or get your point across and you're done. Fine. But I think we should do that and get multiple colors on one night. I know we could get Dano on for 6 minutes. Well, I want to get Jay Scientist on. I want to get Steve's 11 on. I want to get Darren in the sorry, I can't even see that. 4297. We need to get 6-minute callers on. We need to get people just hey, this is it. This is what blah. Get to the point if you want and tell us what's up, So, anyways. So, yeah, just reading some of your comments here. Yeah, food poisoning is rampant. Yeah. All right, guys, you're tuned into next week's News Today. Mike of the Night. Send off music for you guys for episode 660.
Festival anthem. Mike in the Night. Transmission. Light. Neon shadows on the street.
Oh, baby.
Baseline rising from beneath. Silver skyline. Hearts ignite. We awaken in my mind. Every fear just fades away when the rhythm starts to play.
Thank you for posting my lives on Facebook. Thank you. Mike Martin's here signing off for episode 660 of Mike in the Night. Take care, and if you can't take care, stay safe. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken.
In the night, in the night, in the night, in the night. 3 a.m. Feel the rise. Hands up high, no disguise. Lights are flashing, bodies sway. Truth is rising anyway. In the silence, in the fight, we come alive. Am I again and I? From the cities to the coast, from the voices